You ready for this, Elon?
Fuck yeah, I can't wait. This has been long overdue. Ready for your ride, Ilhan?
Woo, let me go!
Strap her in tight.
What are you doing? Let me go!
It's a beautiful ride, the best.
Time for liftoff.
No, you can't do this!
Sorry. Sorry, everybody. I was trying to get the goal stuff set up. I forgot to pin some messages and everything in the chat, so I got to do that real quick. Anyway, what's up, everybody? So great to see you. Sorry for the late start Saturday night, but I had some other stuff I was doing. That was pretty good, right? How you doing, CF Rob? Good to see you. Not that Karen. Hello, my fellow anti-communists from the San Francisco Bay Area. It's awesome to see you. Dan, awesome to see you. That's right. Buy some biltong if you want some biltong. I like these late show starts. Well, thanks, Steve. Thanks for being here. None of your business. Good to see you. Pat Hacker, good to see you. Finch, what's up? Good to see you. Kofi holding it down on the kick. Good to see you. That's right. Instant Bellavision. That's right. Now he's got to give us a show. Come on, Bella, fetch the ball. That's right. Lurch Linger, what's up? Good to see you. Jonathan Marcus, good night. Thank you, Brian, for the generous gift. That's right. I'm going backwards. Miss Gatlin, awesome to have you. Mary, starting late. That's right. Thanks, Brian, for putting Bella on the dance floor. That's right. Brian with the $25. Thank you so much, Brian. That means Bellavision's automatically activated tonight. So we are now $75 away from adding a first additional hour to the show. Thank you so much, Brian. Mr. Sneaky Sean, good to see you. Kevin's here. Says 10:30. Yeah, it's always a problem. That's right. America First tells Jim has things to do with like family and stuff, and he can only start when he has time to do so. That's correct. It's correct. But Kevin knows. I know. He's just messing around. I know. What's up? Who else is here? Anybody I missed? Bella hugging her buddy. Yep, she is. She likes that. Narrowway, what's up? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. What's up, Kevin? Good to see you. 7:35 Californication time. That's right. That's right, everybody. So yeah, so I do have a bunch of news stories we're going to get into. There's something that just happened earlier that I want to cover first before we get into the first news story on the thing. If you notice the news stories, basically we're talking about the protests in Madison. There's some violence in Glasgow, Scotland. The No Kings hypocrisy happening in Maine, along with some other things happening like Trump calling LeBron James a racist. But first things last, we have that At least one person is dead and more than a dozen others are injured after a van plowed into a crowd during Berlin's annual LGBTQ plus pride event. A manhunt's now underway for the suspects.
We're back with the Fox News alert. You are looking live at Berlin, Germany. The Associated Press is reporting that at least one person is dead and several others are injured after a car drove through a pride parade near the Brandenburg Gate. Authorities say a manhunt is now underway for one or more suspects and have told people to evacuate the scene. Police say some of the victims are dealing with life-threatening injuries.
That's right, life-threatening injuries. Yes, yes. And I think I have some more on it right here. The LGBTQ terror attack was carried out by an Islamist named Abdul B. According to Welt, the far right were correct again. Islamic extremists want the LGBTQ plus dead. This is a massive wake-up call. It is a massive wake-up call. They should wake up and smell. We'll get to that in a second. Mm-hmm. 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 Uh-huh. A driver rammed the vehicle through the crowd. The driver of the van attacked people with a bladed weapon after the collision.
We're back with the Fox News alert. You are looking live at Berlin, Germany. The Associated Press is reporting that at least one person is dead and several others are injured after a car drove through a pride parade near the Brandenburg Gate. Authorities say a manhunt is now underway for one or more suspects and have told people to evacuate the scene. Police say some of the victims are dealing with life-threatening injuries. Joining us now is Paul Morrow, retired NYPD inspector and Fox News contributor. Paul, what is it? First of all, this is right in the middle of Berlin, major tourist attraction, Brandenburg Gate. From what you've seen and learned so far, what do you think is going on here?
Well, look, there's been a series of vehicle-borne terror attacks in Germany going back to about 2016. The big one in Mannheim, the Christmas market, as we all recall, you're into double figures on DOAs, unfortunately, and scores injured. So there is a history of these things. And one of the things that happens with people who want to commit terrorist attacks is very often they're radicalized online and they're going through the history. They see this stuff. They take lessons from the past history. Germany, not as many guns as we have here. So this idea that, okay, if you don't have guns, you're going to get rid of violence. This is what you have instead. They turn to the cars. That's the tradition, unfortunately, in Germany. And you're seeing it here again. Now, look, German intel is good. I have a feeling that they have some idea about what they're up against here. But, we'll see. My gut tells me they'll get something. We'll have a name. We'll have some kind of a suspect pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you certainly hope so. I mean, you mentioned this is not the first time we've seen an incident such as this or in a similar style. Is there anything that can be done to prevent something like this? We're looking at what we just had here, the World Cup.
Yes, there is something you can do. The thing you could do is stop allowing all these people to invade your country. It's an invasion. You're allowing the invasion to happen. As long as the invasion continues to happen, you will continue to have the acts by the invaders. That's how it works. The invasion comes in. They want to conquer. They want to take over. You are allowing them to do it. That's the answer. That's the explanation. That's it. That's all there is. That's all there is. That's the only way to answer it. You stop the invaders from coming in. That's it.
And people gathering in large groups of people celebrating, and you have a number of events that are in the United States and around the world. We've seen it with concerts and in different events. When you have a large group of people gathering, it seems to be a target-rich environment. Anything that they could do to better prevent something like this?
Yeah, so unfortunately, sometimes you have to learn the hard way with these things. And that's going to be the question that's going to come out of this German attack in Germany because of the ones that they've had in the past. A lot of people are going to say, why was there vehicle access? Why
was there vehicle access? Kevin says, have they identified the suspect? Yeah, Abdul. After he crashed, he got out with a knife and started stabbing people, yelling Allah Akbar. So I think that's, I don't want to jump to conclusions, but I think that means it's not the Nazis. They did not see this coming, though. Yeah, the Amish gang of Berlin Wars. Yeah, Knives Out. See, it's the Amish is doing it. See, it's who it is. Just saying. That's who's doing it. So. There we right here. The German suspect, Mohammed Abdul, was suffering from paranoid schizophrenia. That's what they're going to say. Right here. LGBTQ people vote for more migrants. Radical Muslims enter. They run over LGBT people with cars. LGBT people vote for more migrants. Yes. It's crazy. It's crazy. They keep doing it over and over again. They wonder why it just keeps happening. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Reporting that at least one. Fox News alert, you are looking live at Berlin, Germany. The Associated Press is reporting that at least one person is dead and several others are injured after a car drove through a pride parade near the Brandenburg Gate. Authorities say a manhunt is now underway for one or more suspects and have told people to evacuate the scene.
Yep, evacuate the scene. Get out of there. Get out of there. Get out of there. So. Okay. Got a bunch of stuff. Look at this. We've got our white criminal of the day, if you guys were wondering. He's a sex offender named Amos Gardner. He's confined. He was born in 1957. He's a white male, black hair, brown eyes, 5'11", 160 pounds. Just be careful. You know. Could also be this white male, Joaquin Alcantar Gomez. A lot of them. We got to do something about all these whites. So, well, speaking of problems with whites per se, we have the next story, which is what's happening in Madison, Wisconsin. Learn the hard way sounds like insanity. Yes, it sure does. Yes. But let's be honest, Western society welcome many things based on monetary return. That's true. Joe comes in for 2. Thank you. Says, here's a little something for my tardiness. My bad. Well, no problem. No problem with that. Folks, we are now just 73 away from adding a first additional hour to the show. Thank you so much for the generous donations. Moral of the day, don't pull a knife on a cop. Rest in peace, Corey Ruiz. Yes, definitely. Definitely don't pull a knife. Thanks. I heard you say knife. Didn't hear the yelling or name part. Okay. No problem. I, too, have been watching and not hit the like button, but I'm old. Don't be like me. Hit the like button. Learning a hard way is like bashing your head into a brick wall until you learn. Yes. Roy, it's about to start in that town. That's my guess. Oh, yes, they're going to start. They're going to start. Mm-hmm. He's really white. That's really a white guy, right? Yes, definitely. Yeah, they're all about to chimp out. Your white people need to I need to get the whites under control, I know. Who's ever classifying these people as being white is clearly racist towards white people. Maybe. Do they list citizenship on arrest records? No, and actually there's been a lot of reporting lately too, because they're taking a lot of the pictures and stuff down, because they don't want, I don't know if it's they don't want the truths to come out, or if they don't want the, what it is exactly. But they're trying their best. Hey, Jay Schwartz, good evening. Better late than never. Thanks for being here. Hey, what's up, Dyslexic? How you doing? Great to see you. Mm-hmm. Don't be late or you'd already be retarded. That's right. Hope you had a great weekend. Any updates from CENTCOM? I didn't see anything from CENTCOM. From what I understand, it seems like maybe maybe there weren't any bombings today. I don't think so. Will we see strikes on Pickaxe Mountains this weekend? I thought we would. Oh, blood pressure. Oh, I love blood pressure. But anyway, so what's happening in your city when leaders wimp out like this? He should have immediately handcuffed, not handed a microphone. Yeah. Press conference descends into chaos after police surrender a mic to an unhinged lunatic following the shooting of whatever, Corey Ruiz, Wisconsin.
All power to all people, zero power to Zionists, zero power to capitalists, zero power to colonialism.
The thinness of trust in the city right now did not start.
Well, we can shut this down. You can stop talking because we don't want to hear anything you've been saying. You're going to say the same thing you all say every time a black body gets shot down in this city. This is a corrupt city. That's right. Have no fear. The anti-Zionist is here. You understand me? You won't be able to talk today because I'm going to keep talking because I was born to talk my talk and walk my walk too. I told these young people back here on my way here that we have the power, not that badge, not that weapon. We have the power. The city of Madison is corrupt. From the DA to the what's the name of this? The Department of Independent Monitoring. We don't want any of that talk. You've given us this speech with you'll deliver justice. Oh, we've seen the cameras. We've seen it was a knife in this young man's hand. We don't want to hear that today. We didn't want to hear it when they put their neck on George Floyd's neck. We don't their foot on George Floyd's neck, and we don't want to hear it today. What do you have to say about that? No. Oh, you don't get to talk, I said. Right. Go ahead.
I'll step aside.
That's right. Give me this microphone then. Excuse me. That's right. My name is Carlos. I represent APTAP, all power to all people, zero power to Zionists, zero power to capitalists, zero power to colonialism. What you are doing right now in this city is continuing the disgusting nature of colonialism. Come up here. This is our press conference. And I'll put my lips all over this microphone. Power to the people. No power to Zionists. That's right. Anybody got anything they want to say? Let us know. You got some questions y'all want to ask? Ask us some questions. We're taking questions.
I'd like to ask something.
I didn't think so. Turn up your Zionist noses because your entire communications and media department is all about Zionism and colonialism. We will not stand. I am a part of the class that has been oppressed and struggled my entire life. My grandmother struggled. My mother struggled. Their grandmother struggled. Those people struggled. We go back far enough and we can see that there was a white European that colonized us, that stole land, that committed genocide right here on America. And you guys want to host your bourgeoisie revolution.
The police just stepped aside and gave him the microphone, just like Bernie Sanders did in 2020. Yes, dumb act, blacktivist. Yep, sure is. This guy sounds crazy. He is. This is ridiculous. This is the same mentality that this cop did that led to the police stations being burned down in Minnesota, that led to all the shit happening in Atlanta. Like, stupid is his struggle. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. This is so much oppression that they let him have a mic. It's crazy. It really is. Yeah, it's crazy. He should talk about common black activities. Yes. Yeah. During the struggle, none of them bothered to learn English. It's crazy.
You guys want to run your mouths about how disgusting socialism is. You haven't seen socialism, okay? You see my hand right here? This is how this is fragmentation. All of these struggles, Palestine, Congo, America, Sudan, Venezuela. But when you put that fist together, you get the power of intercommunalism. I have smelled the Zionism all throughout your city. Your opinion coddles to imperialism.
Yes. So we got to have a conversation. We don't have to monopolize to get our points.
This microphone ain't even on. And what? We have already been through. There is no difference. This is the clown show.
Let him finish so that we can actually hear the
And now you're yelling at a black woman continuing to discuss the I don't care. No, you don't get to walk up on me, brother. You don't get, it don't matter. You don't get, I ain't no shaking no motherfucking hands with no imperialists. Okay. I don't do that. Okay, you're in my space right now too. Now I'm gonna back up right here, and if you keep walking up on me, I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about.
You want him to calm down.
This ain't your show, brother.
I'm tired too.
Hey,
okay, so he's gonna have a conversation, or he don't care what they got going on and how they got it going on. This is a new show, and we ain't running it like that. Let the police chief finish saying what he got to say so we can get our information that we need and we can run with it.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. Look, this is not your show. Here's the thing. We all witnessed on social media last night a human being take the life of another human being.
Because I'm like that.
No, you're not.
I'm like that.
Because if you was, you'd have did
I'm
something.
like that.
Do it. Do something.
You talk
Show
about.
me how like that you are then.
Can media
And just remember, though, they just convicted a white woman of saying one word, and she got convicted over it. But this is all legal and fine. None of this that you're seeing right here is disturbing the peace or any of that. Why weren't these people arrested for disturbing the peace, causing panic? Yeah, cops standing down for a black guy. He wouldn't do that for a white guy. Oh, no, they would arrest the white people. They'll charge them and send them to jail. Don't you feel culturally enriched? Yeah. It's crazy.
Please continue on with what you got to say, and please respond to any questions that is asked when you open the floor.
Clearly, trust is not. So in accordance, I will.
So you gonna let him finish? Let him finish.
What you can remove people. This is what you call a cucked person, a cucked cop. This guy should not be in charge of anything. This guy should not be in charge of anything. He should immediately be removed from office. He should be fired. Whoever is running that city should fire him. What a wimp. You ain't kidding. Yeah, it must be the chief punk. Yeah, this is pathetic. Pathetic. You know, and this is what's going on outside. BLM and far left extremists shut down the road and threaten drivers.
Yeah. The only reason I am screaming in your face is because you're out of your car. Get your hands back in your motherfucking car, and I will go away. The car! That's protesting. That fat pig! That's not cool! That you don't give a fuck about! Sorry for the inconvenience! Sorry for the inconvenience!
You're fucking screaming at the wrong people.
I'm not scared of you, kid!
Oh, this one's like, I'm with you. I'm a liberal. Don't these people understand? They don't care who you're with. You're the wrong color. Maybe he has no backup. He's in the he's in the police station. There's cops everywhere. He was giving a speech in the police station. This is the idiot that resisted and pulled a knife. Yeah. Sheriff Grady Judge would have not put up with this. No, Sheriff Grady Judge would have handled it.
I'm not scared of you, kid!
No, he said anything about stopping. All I said is don't fucking scream in my sister's face with a...
Well, I'ma do it! I'm out here protesting! That's what a protest is!
This is so pathetic, man. Yeah. Who knew the best way to fight fascism was getting people's faces to demand conformity to the mob? Where is the disastrous police department? Yeah. Where is it? Grady would have locked them up so quick. They'd have said the N-word in Minnesota. Yeah. You ain't kidding. Sirens often illegal on cars. Yeah, sure is. If they did this to me, I would get in my car swinging with nunchucks. Well, they're looking for George Floyd 2.0, totally planned. Oh, yeah, that's what they want. You already need a drink. Me too. Maybe you could do one night a week where we only talk about positive things. Maybe if we could actually get some news that was positive, that would be great. I can't make the news. I can only talk about what's in the news. Yeah, just run them over like in Florida. Yeah, try that shit in Florida. You will get run over. They passed the law saying you can run people over to get away. Trump should enact martial law. He needs to do something. He does. He needs to do something. Officers eating donuts and drinking coffee in office seats there, Jim. Probably. How are you supposed to trust the cops to protect you when they can't even stand up for themselves? Yeah. This is ridiculous, man. You know, at some point, regular people are going to start defending themselves.
It's a revolution. Not to be in a slave system that nobody thought would be toppled, and it fell in 4 years. And that revolution's not finished.
Yeah. Some positive news. Trump appointed judge just ruled giving illegals taxpayer-funded tuition is unconstitutional. Yeah, I did see that, but it'll probably get overturned by an appeals court or something. Yeah. KK Bronson says, "What was that what it was? I thought I blew a tire." Yeah, exactly. When seconds matter, the police are minutes, or in this case, hours away. Yeah, they won't even show up. They'll just let it all burn down like they did in Minnesota. What's up, Doc? How you doing? Good evening. Yeah. This is what Charles Manson predicted. Just saying. Yeah. Oh, look, more Marxists. Yep, that's what they are. That's right, Schmeckles. That's the war, people. That's what's coming. It's going to be a war between the fucking commies. So, you know what's going to have to happen, and it's going to have to happen soon. Like Sheriff David Clark says, Ruiz got justice. This career criminal fought with police while armed with a knife, slashing at officers. Who is dumb enough to do this? This might be suicide by cop. His family abandoned him, and now they see money signs and a chance to cash in.
Welcome back and live now from Fox. I'm your host, Anna Marsick. Our next live event takes us out to Madison, Wisconsin. This is an event that is happening following the shooting of Corey Ruiz there in Wisconsin. Ruiz was shot and killed by a Madison police officer, and the legal team is now calling for a full and independent investigation for accountability. This is the first time that the family is speaking publicly. We also heard from civil rights attorney Ben Crump, who is joining the family to the right-hand side of your screen there. Let's listen in.
Any fucking case that Ben Crump is involved in, it should tell you right away that it's bullshit. The guy is fucking illiterate. I don't know how he graduated college, let alone law school. Must be DEI. They must have just said, oh, give him the degree, whatever. Because, like, how did he pass the bar? How did he do anything? The guy can't read.
Away from Austin, Texas, the moment she got word her brother had been killed. Drove through the night to be here for her family.
Everybody that feels like this was justified, I need you to check in with your higher power, because you got some more stuff coming. Amen.
Justice for Corey. Justice for Corey. Justice for Corey. Next, we will hear from his sister, Anna, who's been trying to explain to her two little boys where Uncle Corey is.
Can someone explain to me why Corey Ruiz was listed as white on his on his arrest records why it said he was a white man? Can anyone explain that to me? I don't know.
My brother was a very loving, caring, talented, very smart, gifted man. And he definitely didn't deserve to die the way he did. He didn't deserve that at all. He was already struggling. He was already going through enough. And to just be thrown away like that is just, I can't understand it. So, I don't know what else to say.
Okay, that's fine. Justice for Corey. Justice for Corey. Justice for Corey.
Justice for Corey. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
Thank you. Next, we will hear from Adam Ruiz, his brother, his little brother, and he has his son, Adam Jr., with him. And they're all trying to deal with these questions.
Why is he looking at his phone? He's going to need to read from his phone.
I just want to start by saying what happened to my brother involving the Madison police was sickening and inhuman, and should have never resulted in the tragic execution of my brother. My heart is broken. My family and I will never be the same. I'm having a hard time processing it. It makes me sick every time. The video just keeps replaying in my head. It's hard to go day by day knowing that my brother is dead. My family needs justice for what they did to him. He was a very important and loved man by his family, friends, and plenty more in the community. Any chance he had to do good.
Yeah, he didn't
Any
write
chance
this.
he
He's
had to
reading
do
something
good
somebody
and be there for his daughter. He did. And he always talked about.
No, he had a knife. He had a knife.
I should say he
was stabbing the cops fighting with the knife, and so they shot him. So it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I hadn't talked to him in years, but thought about it. Yeah. He would not be dead if he did not resist and pull a knife. Yeah, it's true. You don't fight the police, you don't get shot. That's right.
He loved music, and he always talked about making more music.
Oh yeah, music. Another musician.
You
know who else was a musician? Was that guy who ran over all the people in the Christmas parade? He was a musician too. Yeah. He fought the police and got laid down. Yes. Maxie Hess says a lot of arrests of Latinos and blacks are shown as white. Someone said if they're identifying as white men, like men identify as women, to change the statistics. Yeah. You fight in court, not the cops. That's right. He fought the law, and the law won. Yes. We all love music. We do.
Mostly roofing. And he wanted to spend more time with his daughter. He always was a kind-hearted, respectful man
like
that
rap
made people laugh.
Like 30 arrests.
He may have made mistakes in his life growing up, but who doesn't? That didn't stop the man he was or wanted to be until the tragic day when the police executed him. They didn't just take my brother, they took a son, a friend, an uncle, and if his daughter decides to have a family of her own, a grandpa as well. Nobody should lose their life in the hands of the police.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
I believe the system is corrupted. And us as the people, we need to stand up and come together to put a stop to this madness. They need body cameras to stop future incidents.
Amen.
It's on video of him trying to stabbing the cops. What the fuck is this guy talking about?
To stop future incidents from happening, I believe it will be done as well as receiving justice for my brother, for his life. No justice, no peace.
No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice,
No peace. We love you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Adam. Now at this time, we will hear from Marjorie Ali Omar, the mother of Khalil, who is Corey's only daughter, only child. And then after that, you will hear from his daughter. So Marjorie, if you could share.
Please excuse me if I ramble all over the place.
Corey Ruiz.
I'm very nervous. I've been a part of this family for a very long time, since I was a little girl. And since I had my daughter, they have been my biggest support system. If he couldn't support her, they were there. So I really appreciate even having the opportunity to come up here and speak on his behalf. I'm going to piggyback on Adam a little bit and say, yes, that man was very talented. He was a lyricist. He was a poet.
A lyricist.
He was an artist.
A poet and artist.
He was very kind.
He was a stabber.
And he was extremely funny. I'm definitely going to miss the jokes, the laughs, the reminiscing, and all these things that his daughter will never be able to see or know about him because they didn't get a chance to grow old together. What I really want to talk about is the location of his death.
Oh.
This place is 2 blocks up the street from our home.
Okay. What
2
the fuck
blocks
does that
away
mean?
from her school.
Okay.
Every day she has to walk to school when she starts school, and she will have to walk past her dad's memorial where he was murdered by people we're
Video,
supposed to
a
trust
stab wound, and they got a knife.
and depend on, that we're supposed to call. How are we supposed to trust to call you if we think we're going to get executed in the process? Because you might
Lost
believe
real one, yeah.
that we have done something wrong. Not that you know, but you might believe. That's not fair. It's not fair to her to have to see or deal with this.
Every day.
Sorry. When I got the call, I had already seen the video. But the angle that I had seen, I couldn't tell who it was until his sister called me screaming. Devastated me. And I couldn't get to her because she was in Texas. If anybody, it's my support system, it's her. So not getting to her was the worst thing I ever felt. So I don't even know how they feel. I just know I need to protect my daughter, and I need people to stop looking into what happened, what his past was, what any of that. Look at what happened.
Yeah, stop looking at his past. Don't look at his past. Don't look at the stuff. So obviously there's some shit going to come out even more. Like there's other shit going to come out of his past because she's like, stop looking at his past. Don't look at his criminal record. That's not who he was. Even though he stabbed the cops, that's not who he was. Yeah. I wonder if he was on his way to visit her. Yeah. I doubt it.
There's too many videos. There's too much evidence.
Too much evidence. Yeah. I've been stabbing people.
To say anything otherwise.
Oh, yeah. They want 2020 all over again.
Restrained. How was he attacking anybody? He was on his knees. This makes no sense. That's really what I want to say. I hate that she has to walk past this every day. And I hate that she can't see him grow old. I hate that he will never see her graduate. She can't even graduate 8th grade with her dad there. No girl, nobody, no kid should grow up without their.
Maybe the father shouldn't have fucking tried to stab the cops. You try to stab the cops, you're going to get shot. That's just how that works. These people think he died because he was black. Yeah, well, that's insane. He died because he stabbed cops.
Father, she had enough time without him. She needed time with him. We were.
Wait a minute. What do you mean? What do you mean she had enough time without him? Well, where was he? Where was he exactly that she had all this time without him? Was he in jail, prison? Was that where he was? Is he a numerous felon convicted that hurt people and did bad things to people, committed crimes? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, you just found the incident. The knife was huge. Yeah, it was a big ass knife. Yeah, this black woman is seriously saying no child should grow up without a father. Yeah, well, yeah, he was homeless. Crazy homeless motherfucker. She never saw him before this. Probably. It's so performative. Yes.
We were hopeful for a future. We were looking towards a future, and we'll never get that. His family won't get it. His daughter won't get it. I won't get it. I love them. I love him. He loved me. He loved everybody. He was not a violent person.
No.
He made mistakes, but he was never violent, no matter what anybody is saying.
Just robbery and battery, not violent. Yeah.
Justice for Corey.
Justice for Corey.
Yeah, not violent at all. Not violent at all. Not violent at all. Not violent at all. Looking forward to that record contract. Yes, definitely. Except cops and private property. Yes. Wasn't violent. Yes. Well, he battered other people too, not just the cops. Now, maybe if Ruiz had a father in a picture, this might not have happened. It's possible. Where was his father? They're all angels after they die. He was such a good boy. Didn't do nothing. So BLM is back in force. Activists harass sidewalk diners in Madison, Wisconsin, and surround cars. Yes. Switchy reported performance scheduled for Wednesday at the Wisconsin Chamber of Commerce was interrupted. Did I even say the goal thing tonight? I don't even think I did the goal thing tonight, did I? I totally forgot. Yeah, okay. So there's a goal tonight like there is every night. I'm sorry. I didn't do this. Did I? For every $100 in total that comes in across all platforms, YouTube Super Chats, Rumble Rants, becoming a member, gifting memberships on YouTube, Rumble, Kick, Twitch, and Locals, along with Locals coins, Cash App, PayPal, Coffee, Ko-Fi, and Super Tips. We add it all up when we hit 100. We add an extra hour for each additional 100 that comes in. We add another additional hour to the show. So the show could be as long as you want it to be, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, whatever, you name it. We already got some good donations tonight. Right now, we are $73 away from adding a first additional hour to the show. Cue the SPLC funded riot in 3, 2, 1. Yeah, somebody give Kyle a call. Yeah, I mean, this is weird. This is Madison, Wisconsin, so not that far from Kenosha. It's another loot lineup. Grifters out for the Gibbs. That's right, the Gibbs me dats. Yeah, his criminal record is long and a lot of violence. Yes, lots of violence. So, yeah, after police shot and killed a career criminal, Corey Ruiz, someone alerted the police that Ruiz was checking cars to see if they were unlocked. And after a short pursuit through some backyards on a bicycle, Ruiz pulled a knife and stabbed a female officer before he was shot and killed. Full Black Lives Matter protests have broken out and continued into the weekend. Wisconsin gubernatorial candidate Francesca Hong was at the scene of the shooting, was handed a bullhorn and declared the shooting an execution. Really? Huh. This editor wishes he'd invest in bullhorns in 2019 because today every self-declared activist has one. Here's a protester harassing people dining on a sidewalk in Madison, along with footage of mostly white protesters blocking a road and a woman who apparently doesn't know how to use a bullhorn. Madison is a very liberal area. Yeah, I hear it's a lot of commies there. Yeah. Good, let them eat their own. I don't care. Huh. Oh, look at this idiot white guy clapping. That's a small. Yeah, it is. Christine, great to see you. Thanks for being here tonight.
What most y'all fail to realize is we've been doing this forever. We've been spending our lives fighting to live every single day. So I thank our allies for being out here, but you'll never know the struggle. So when you're out here and you're an ally, I need you to be louder than any one of your black and brown neighbors. I need you to be the loudest people in the fucking crowd. I need you to be the loudest people on social media. I need you to be the loudest people at your alderman's door, okay? We're not out here for a good time. We're out here for a long time, baby.
Wow. Interesting, right? So here's the same guy who was arrested at diners telling a fat pig to get back in her car. We saw this. This is the video earlier of the people. She got back in the car and was like, I work for an NGO. I'm on your side. DSA is on scene. That's right. Paid protesters. Such BS. You ain't kidding. If I lose a family member, it'll most likely be one of y'all. That's true. That's true. None of them would be here if the great-grandparents hadn't been rounded up by other black Africans to sell them. Is she judging me by the color of my shin? Maybe. So watch this pathetic scene of a white woman begging to be let back through a bicycle blockade so she can go home and park and then come back and join the protest because she 100% supports what they're doing, except for blocking her car. I want to be part of this, woman says to the protesters.
He wouldn't let me through. I kept saying, I want to go home so I can park. And I want to be part of this. I have 2 children. They need to know that what happened was wrong. And seeing the video, I will go through that intersection less than 5 minutes before it happened.
Why did he call you the C word?
Because I wanted to get through and he wouldn't let me. I had a whole block. There's no reason why I couldn't have gone through, gone home, parked my car a block from that intersection and joined in. I love my neighborhood. I love my neighborhood. This is what my problem with this is. I saw the guy today with the MAGA hat and the fuck liberals. I don't think that's right to come down and try and instigate problems.
Oh, so the guy with the MAGA hat, if having a MAGA hat is instigating problems. People, if you don't realize that these are your enemy, and these are all the enemy, they are, and they all need to go. Getting close and touching people's cars ended in Florida. We carry and legal allowed to run them over. Yeah.
I need to get to my house. That is it.
We all just want to do something in this world, and some people just want to leave.
I didn't want to leave. I didn't want to leave. Listening to me, because what happened is wrong.
So
I know.
You're going this way.
Yeah. We ever get the story on men versus women versus empathy story? I don't know. White liberal women will equal the end of America. Yes. Isn't it illegal to block the road? It is. It is, but they don't seem to care. You know, the laws don't apply to certain people. This is Wong's promise from Wausau, Kenosha, and Appleton. Elect her if you want 4 years of this shit. Yeah. So keep that in mind. I wonder how many of those al fresco diners voted for the Democrat Party. You see the one white-haired oldster stand up and applaud the guy with the bullhorn harassing him? Another broken story. Career criminal that's being treated like a hero. Guy stabbed a police officer trying to take a taser. That's who they're defending. Yeah. So glad it's happening to the liberals that enabled this. Yes. Nothing like electing this and then it happens to you. Yeah. People who vote Democrat will continue to have it happen to them. People engaged probably voted for this shit. Yeah. Hundreds of anti-police protesters just took over the streets for Corey Ruiz, the knife-wielding career criminal shot after he stabbed a cop. Driver refuses to stop. Protester starts smashing car windows. Arrest them all. I run them motherfuckers over. Yes, run them over. Hit them. Okay. Run them motherfuckers over. That's what you do. Run them the fuck over. Madison got police gunned down a homeless violent career felon, threatening them with a knife. Stab someone with a knife. Stab. Useful idiots. You said that right. Wausau, too small of a town to be acting up. Yeah, well. When officers see a female officer down, they get payback pretty quick. Here he is. This guy was listed as white. A fatal police officer shooting in far left Wisconsin. 38-year-old Corey Ruiz was killed on a busy street. Videos show various angles. They verified and synchronized the video. The videos last a total of 28 seconds. You can't believe the states allow this shit. No, the Democrats allow it because this is their constituency. I had several different interactions with police. Somehow I survived. I mean, I didn't try to stab them or run them over, but if you just listen to them and do what they say, you don't get killed. Yes. Wait, he was homeless. I thought his family loved him. Well, they love him now because they want the money. The city's probably going to pay out a bunch of money. He's a homeless. He's seen falling from a bicycle. Moments later, 3 officers are seen rushing to restrain him. A struggle ensues between Ruiz and 4 officers. According to police chief, Ruiz pulled out a knife, injuring 1 officer. We were staged here for 3 years in Wisconsin. 20 years ago, it was lovely. Yeah. There's the knife. Oh, look at that. Oh. See the blood? Oh, wow. The injured officer was allegedly fired shots that killed Ruiz. Patterson also noted a second officer was injured. That's right. Hey, hello, Dusky. How you doing? Great to see you. So Madison officers shoots a man after he pulled a knife. Police officers that calls out bike thefts, blah, blah, blah. Well, it looked to me like he had a knife and yeah. So let's see here. Right here is where he's on the ground, and it looks like right around here. They're not showing the video where he actually got shot. So 2 officers supposedly got stabbed. So Ruiz owes $50,000 in child support. So BLM and activists are trying to agitate for a 2020 style riots after violent super predator Corey Ruiz was shot dead. It's a butcher knife, yeah. They attacked a door-to-door knife salesman. Unbelievable. Yeah, it's crazy. You know a lot of white people that look like him, Jim? Okay. Yeah. The guy's 5% white. Okay. Well, I guess that's all that matters, right? Maybe he's a Norseman. They had dreadlocks. You know what? It could be. I never agreed with the woman libs crap. I'm a feminist. I believe men have a role to play and women have a separate role. We need to stay in our lane. Well, thank you. 20 years ago, most states were lovely. Didn't know Obama? Yeah. I've seen too many videos of officers getting hurt for not acting fast enough. Yes. You have mods now? I should have mods. What do you mean? I had mods for a long time. You kind of look like him, Jim. Okay. I guess I do. Let's see. In the days following the incident, mobs of angry protesters crashed events and took to the streets. Yeah, this was the other day. They went over to this stopped us, these liberals from having their concert. Fool me once, fool me twice moment. Yeah. How many police officers die each year in the USA? I don't know. Too many. A Democrat frontrunner joined the leftist mob, saying that was an execution. So this is the Democrat frontrunner for governor.
A man died at the hands of state-sanctioned violence.
Say it. It was murder. It was murder.
Executed.
Say it. It was murder.
This is my statement.
Murder.
This state-sanctioned violence was an execution.
Dare to.
We no longer can have a system that protects a power and a privilege that puts the pain and lives.
So she basically, you have somebody that's running for governor who says that you can't have a system that protects the power of the government. Why is she trying to be government? She should be disqualified from running. Was she born in the U.S.? Was she born to a Chinese anchor baby? What the fuck is going on here? Statistics are racist. Makes sense since math is racist. Yeah. Yeah. This is probably going to be the next governor of Wisconsin, people. She's the front runner in the Democrat primary. So this could win it for her. It could. Yeah, you're right. It could. Yeah. If all the white people and the people who follow the law in Wisconsin are idiots and let this fly.
Of armed officers over black people.
Oh.
We cannot protect a system that continues to rain harm and terror. We all deserve to feel safe.
Oh, okay. So that's the front runner for the Democrats right there. So during a press conference the Reese family attended, Ben Crump accused the Madison police of cold-blooded murder. They not only tackled him, they tased him, they kicked him, but you saw them shoot him 3 times in the head. We saw an execution. He had a knife in his hand stabbing people. I mean, what do you think is going to happen? You know, what do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? It's just ridiculous. Oh, yeah. What do you think is going to happen? So here, just so you guys don't think I was making it up, here he is right here. Corey Ruiz, white male. Black Lives Matter. He's a white male, according to this. I think the Democrats will be destroyed in the midterm since their entire platform is Trump is bad and socialism. I don't know, man. They've got a lot of stupid people convinced of a lot of things. Also, stuffing the ballot boxes with illegitimate votes from illegitimate people. Yeah, well, that's what they'll do. She's got the governor's model bullhorn. Yeah. It's crazy. It's insane. It's insane. She'll win Madison, Milwaukee. If she wins another mid-city and takes the state, there's no real large cities in Wisconsin other than Milwaukee. Yeah. BLM is going with the 1% rule. I guess. So, and Ben Crump says, Wisconsin will not have peace until the officer who killed the ex-con is charged. So I would arrest Ben Crump. Yeah, he got justice. He did. Ben Crump, who represents the family of George Floyd and Michael Brown, the way they shot him repeatedly. Yeah. Crump promised there will be no peace until police are held accountable. So I would arrest him. He's threatening violence. He's going to, it's the racist police background. A viral cell phone video shows officer fires 3 shots. Well, police say Ruiz was carrying a knife. He stabbed 2 cops. Ruiz didn't submit after being tased. He pulled a knife and injured an officer. That police press conference dissolved into chaos as they started yelling about Zionists. See, all this shit the Democrats are doing with the whole Zionist shit about Jews, this is going down a bad path, people. It's going down a bad path. They wear butt plugs, probably. What's up? Great to see you, my Poncho. Crump, the ambulance chaser. Yes, he is. Whoever started that GoFundMe should be put in jail. Oh, you talking about the GoFundMe for the fake GoFundMe guy? Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that when I get to the story. So this is just BLM is back and protesting the police shooting another violent career criminal. And then over in Glasgow, 15 were arrested after violence breaks out at the anti-migrant protest in Glasgow. Police pledged to make further arrests after scores of anti-migrant protesters were seen running towards an anti-fascist group. So, yeah, they're going to protect the anti-fascists at all costs. So police chased and held back the Unite the Klans demonstrators who ran towards Antifa, while many on both sides were wearing masks. Who calls Crump to appear at this crap, or to just go? They probably call him. Who knows? He might call them. I don't know. Hey, what's up, NASCAR Mo? Great to see you 3 times in the head. Well, no, Corey Louise has a gun for GoFundMe. Oh, go figure. Yeah. Tasers don't work on a drugged up. So some 15 arrests were made, including for possession of an offensive weapon, assault, breach of peace. Scotland police say weapons recovered at the scene, which took place near a children's play park, showed some arrived with the intention for premeditated disorder. A significant policing operation remains in place for the disorder. So extensive inquiries are underway to identify the other individuals. Protesters and counter-protesters clashed in Glasgow Green on Saturday afternoon as police on horses attempt to separate them. Well, why? Punches and projectiles were thrown as the anti-immigration group approached anti-racism campaigners while some performed what appeared to be Nazi salutes. Helicopters circled the park. Those taking part in the Unite the Klans rally chanted, "Send them home. Stop the boats." There were big cheers during an anti-migrant speech in which a protester said, "It's wonderful being white. I love being white." Oh. One man was heard saying, "I'm a Nazi and I love it." So I guess that man that said that just means that they all are, right? Thanks for being here. Next goal. Nice. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for the 4. That means, folks, we're now just 69 away from adding a first additional hour to the show. 69 away. Thank you so much, Tony. Thanks, Jim and Bella. See you, Rob. Thank you. With that, too, that means we're 67 away, folks, from adding a first additional hour to the show. Sorry, Jim. I just have no more sympathy. Don't care about people anymore. I understand, Boston Lover. Apparently, math is also sexist. He ruined it. Crump is a functional illiterate. 69, dude. I know. Yeah, my sympathy is all washed up. If you want sympathy, look in the dictionary between shit and syphilis. Some anti-racism protesters shouted scum at police. I don't understand, why are they anti-racism protesters? So if you don't want, if you don't want violent third world, fourth world savages coming in and raping and pillaging, it makes you a racist or scum. Thank you for the 10 spot. Thank you so much, Boston Lover. Oh, he's got the beautiful Boston Terriers. That means we're now just 57 away. We're close to halfway there for adding a first additional hour. Thank you so much. Go buy Bella a dog bone. Thank you, Great Eagle. That means we're now $55 away from adding a first additional hour to the show. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Boston. I look at all of them as paid protesters. I don't doubt it. I think a lot of them are. I really do. Hello, and hiding Frisky. Frisky is around somewhere. She's not very friendly per se. So arrests were also made in a large group made her way from Glasgow Green, the city center. A number of containments were put in place. Tensions have flared in recent weeks, with police pinning much of it on blaming it on misinformation. Oh, yes. Misinformation. Wow. The facts is all misinformation. Chief Superintendent said we've seen significant disorder from disparate groups in Glasgow. All the organizers are paid by Soros, same as 2020. A lot of it's coming from Singham, too. So I want to be clear, the behavior of many of these groups is not legitimate protest. It amounts to violence, intimidation, and fear. So you can't protest to stop the boats. No, you can't. You can't protest to stop the rapes and murders. No, you can't. Officers have recovered weapons. Whatever. This is completely unacceptable behavior. At a time when Glasgow should be shown at its best is extremely disappointing. The protests and associated incidents have now concluded, and we will continue to have visible policing presence in the city center. Chicom protest wallet, Singham. That's correct. That's correct. Look at this. America First said, go find Frisco. I could look. I don't know. She might be sleeping on her bed or she might be outside. Thank you for the 20, though. But that means we're now 35 away, just 35 away from adding a first additional hour to the show. I should tell you guys, I was able to get the pictures for let me get them right now. I was able to get the pineapple pictures, though, that you guys were wanting to see of the pineapple plants. As soon as it pulls up, I'll get it. So. I'll show those in a second. Yes. Thank you so much. Thanks. I used to wish I was younger, not anymore. Yeah, I don't know. Yes. Thank you very much, America First. Thank you. So the scenes of Glasgow this afternoon are wholly unacceptable. For the second time in as many months, members of the public in the city center have faced serious and concerning disorder. Next time you talk to Joe, can you ask if I need a no trespassing sign to defend my property with the Second Amendment? You can't. Okay, I could give you. Joe's not the person to ask, Tony. The person to ask would be Andrew Branca, Law of Self-Defense. You could get his book for free if you just go to his website. If you go to the lawofselfdefense.com, the lawofselfdefense.com, Andrew Branca's website. All you have to do is pay for shipping, and they'll send you the book that has the breakdown on all the law. Putting a no trespassing sign, though, you can't protect your property per se with force. If somebody breaks into your house, depending on the state, most places, I don't know where I think New Hampshire or Rhode Island or something like that. I think I don't know if they have castle doctrine or not. Not a fan of his. Seems like a grifter. No, he's not. He actually works with does a lot of work. He helped with the Kyle Rittenhouse stuff. He helped with George Zimmerman. He's like the premier self-defense expert, when it comes to the Second Amendment. Property as in land. Yeah, I don't think you could. The only place you could defend land is Texas, I think. So the eyes of the world are on Glasgow. So any form of hatred, prejudice, or intolerance or violence is abhorrent. Oh, so intolerance, saying you don't want this. Yes, if you just go to get the lawofselfdefense.com, you get a free book. He'll send it to you. He sends you the book for free. Yeah, he gives you the book for free. That's not a grift. Scotland is diverse, multicultural, inclusive, and welcoming. Really? Scotland's diverse, multicultural. I thought it was all Scottish people. Why can't Scotland be for the Scottish people? See, that's the problem. That is the problem. That is a problem. That is a major problem. And some other problems is the no king guys are hypocrites in Maine. Who think that, who think it's perfectly fine to just pick somebody and plank them in there as, if the mayor sends down his goons, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. But anyway, yeah, you guys wanted to see my pineapple plants. Before I get into this no kings thing of this story, this is the pineapple plants. All right. And you can see the pineapples there. See how you get multiple ones on the plants there? And then, like, see them all. It's been a while since I've been here. Check Cash App. Okay. Thank you, Christine, for the 20 on the Cash App. For how long are we, how are we going to get rid of the commies? The only way to get rid of the commies is to get them to accept the free helicopter ride. That's a large pool, Jim. That's not a pool. That's my dock. By goons, I mean DPW. He wants to put a lien on my property and steal it from under me. Oh, you're going to need to get a lawyer. How much pineapple do I eat? I eat it every day. How the hell do you get them to grow that big in a pot? You grow them. They grow great in a pot. I also haven't planted in a. Well, damn, why aren't you out there fishing? I fish out there. I fish out there. Mm-hmm. You ever seen that before? Yeah. So. Mm-hmm. How? I just plant them and they grow and they spread. Thanks, Jim. I was wondering what it looked like. Multiple plants to a pot. No, it starts out. It starts out as one. These pots. All right. These pots start out as one. They start out as one. One top. All right. One top, and then they spread. Then they spread, and then they keep growing. You get one, and then they sprout out, and then they just keep going. Just use regular dirt. Yeah, just regular dirt. Regular dirt. More pineapples, less commies. Yeah. They don't need much soil. What kind of fertilizer do you use? Well, they grow like a weed. Yeah, they grow like a weed. I use a fertilizer for, like it says, like citrus and avocado fertilizer. That's what I use, and it works really good. Only lawyers I know only respond to super chats. I'm a disabled veteran. Well, you might want to reach out to a lawyer if they're trying to put a lien on your property to make sure they don't try to take it out from underneath you. That's not something you want to let get away from you. You want to make sure that gets handled. So, why do you think we stopped the strikes on Iran? I don't know. I don't know. Let me see. Let me just check and see if they posted anything. CENTCOM. There's nothing posted about any attacks or anything the last 2 days, so I don't know what's going on. I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything. Only thing we have today is this. It says U.S. naval blockade against Iran remains in full effect. They've redirected 12 vessels. Earlier today, they completed a verification boarding on a Comoros-flagged ship in the Arabian Sea. Okay. And I forgot, with Christine's $20, that means we are now just 15 away from having a first additional hour to the show. So we're just 15 away from the goal right now for a first hour. Follow up on Iran question. If we're winning and they're created, why are the price back up to $4? You know what? Do you think we're getting ready for bigger strikes like on Pickaxe Mountain? I think so. First what? Your first one there? What do you mean? So do you start them in, oh, wait. So do you start them in water to root them in dirt? I don't. You don't have to. You don't have to. Yes, I love and appreciate the military too. You don't have to start them in water or not like that. I just take the tops. Like I like when any one of those pineapples, when I'm going to eat them, I cut the top off and then I plant it in a new pot. Like right now, and I've got like 10 pots with just a single top in it. Then they spread. And if it gets too big from one pot, you move it to a bigger pot. But I like to start with like just one big pot and put it right in the middle. And then the first year you'll get one pineapple. And then the next year you'll get like this. These are like these, what you see here, these are all like second year. This is like year 2, what you're seeing in these plants. That's year 2 in those plants. I am confused too, yeah. Iran is such a massive fail, Trump's biggest mistake of his term. Well, if it just keeps ending like this, then yes. Bamboo is a rhizome propagator. It grows by aggressive root spread. What's this reports we're running out of oil? No, we're not running out of oil. They say my garage is dangerous. I guarantee that I am much more dangerous than people on my property without my permission. Just make a tutorial video. I need to see what I'm doing wrong. Okay. Without a statewide vote, Democrats anoint Troy Jackson to replace Graham Plattner. Open convention with performative land acknowledgement. How about no King's protest against Trump was at the same time King Charles came to our country and they fall at his feet and worship him. That's crazy. Yeah, this guy who was arrested for throwing a bottle at a woman and for mortgage fraud. So Gateway Pundit reported Graham Plattner was forced out of the main Senate race after he won 70% of the vote in the Democrat primary. I love every time I learn something new about you. You know so much stuff. Oh, thank you. The Strategic Petroleum Reserve is getting pretty low. Cushing is empty, not looking good. Well, the Strategic Petroleum Reserve is low because when in 2020, when oil prices cratered and basically they could have filled it for free, the Congress wouldn't let Trump fill it. For Democrats, not only was his Nazi tattoo not a deal breaker, but neither was his questionable Reddit post. In fact, Plattner had support of Democrat leadership. Now, a new candidate's been selected without a statewide vote by the No Kings Party. Prior to Saturday's nominating committee, 2/3 of the delegates committed to supporting Troy Jackson. Jackson is backed by radical socialist Bernie Sanders. He's a fucking commie. Come on. Bernie's a commie. He's not a socialist. He vacationed in the fucking Soviet Union. His honeymoon was in the Soviet Union. So Jackson supports abolishing ICE, Medicare for all, and expanding the Supreme Court. What else do I grow? I grow tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, okra. Following Plattner's withdrawal, the main Democrat Party state committee held an emergency meeting for the purpose of nominating someone. There was a 2-part Senate selection process. First, county Democrat committees across the state held special meetings. They elected 500 delegates plus 101 state committee members for a total of 601 voting delegates. Yeah. You could just the fertilizer I use is just it just says for citrus and pineapple, citrus and avocados. Sorry, citrus and avocados, and it works great. I saw someone put an old apple in their pot to make the pineapple plant flower. I don't know what makes them flower exactly, but sometimes they flower fast. Sometimes they take 9 months to a year to flower the first time. But then, like what happens is you'll get like you'll get the stalk coming up with the pineapple on it, and then you'll see underneath it you'll have more what they call pups coming out. And then like I think the fertilizer helps them grow, and if they have enough fertilizer, that's when they produce the pineapples. I fertilize mine like every couple months, like every 2 or 3 months, I fertilize them. Not a lot, like a cup of fertilizer in one of those big pots. So.
A coronation.
That's right. And that's what people here on the ground told us across Bangor and Brewer, Maine yesterday when we were out on the Riverwalk asking people, do you think this is a fair process? And they said, well, it's the process we have after Graham Plattner was pushed out. Last time we were out here, we were talking to voters who thought Plattner could push through pretty much anything, controversy after controversy. But boy, have things changed. So I want to show you what's going on here inside this convention center. I'm going to step out of the way. We're going to push in so you can kind of get a look at what's going on. The floor here is pretty full in the convention center, and it's not the voters picking this time. It's Democratic delegates. The delegates are going to begin that process here pretty soon. It was supposed to start right off the top of the 9, but people are still flowing in. They're going to vote in what's expected to be a pretty short convention that will wrap around noon at least. So it's 9 now, less than 3 hours to go before they have this all finished out. Former Maine Senate President Troy Jackson's expected to win that nomination. He secured the support of a majority of delegates ahead of the convention, so he came in overwhelmingly the favorite before the votes even begin. Backed by Senator Bernie Sanders, Jackson says he's already raised a decent amount of money. We're talking about $1 million and counting. He was a Republican who switched parties in the early 2000s, went from Republican to independent, and now being a Democrat. He supports progressive policies, including Medicare for all and abolishing ICE, which are the main talking points, along with anti-APAC rhetoric. So we're going to see what happens today if he is nominated and picked, what he says if he talks to the crowd. Some voters tell me the process reminds them of the Democrats replacing President Biden with Kamala Harris back in 2024, asking why the delegates, not the voters, get to choose.
That's the best the Democrats can do because they don't have much time to do anything.
I think the people should choose. I mean, I don't know if the delegates, it sounds like an inside job.
I don't think a bait and switch will work at all. I'd say bring Graham Plattner back. Let him run. That was the choice, right?
Hey, what's up, De Norway? Great.
Well, Graham Plattner's not coming back, and that's why we're here today. The convention comes after Graham Plattner went from Democratic rising star to out of the race pretty quickly. He won the main Democratic primary for Senate, but his campaign unraveled following a series of controversies, including the rape allegation, which he denies. So back out here live, once the delegates make this official, there's about 100 days to go. So this isn't even, going to be a run. This is a sprint at this point, and they're going to face off against Susan Collins. People here are holding signs that say, retire Susan Collins, push her out. But when we talk to Susan Collins' team, they say, go ahead, we'll take on Troy Jackson. They think that they can beat him when it comes to November because he actually has a record to run on. And so
we ain't got no time for democracy. Yes, I'm going to regret this, but Collins needs to win. Oh, I threw up a little bit in my mouth. Yes.
Last time Plattner was a political outsider, so he could kind of come up with all these talking points, but they couldn't say, hey, you haven't done that. But Jackson's been in politics for quite some time.
Hey, Alexis, really quick. So it's interesting. You're in the room with a bunch of operatives, grassroots workers, the kind of, true blue Democrats. They're going to get on board with this program, however it is, whether it's a coronation or not. But the people that you're talking to outside sound pretty disillusioned. How do you think this will impact voter turnout, which ultimately is what matters the most?
Well, that's a great question. And that's what I ask people, like, are you even going to come and vote? And they're like, well,
good question.
I don't know. And, I was thinking about that, too, because they're like, well, we don't even get to pick who's going to be replacing Plattner. A lot of those people did turn out and vote for him last time. And then, you had this checkered past that I think a lot of these people knew about anyway and kept pushing them. So now they're like, well, these are the same people, Rachel, that also vetted Plattner, a lot of them, and back Plattner that are now picking this replacement. So they want to know what's going to come out about Troy Jackson. So they might wait to see as it gets closer to that election day. But none of those voters are in this room. They're not allowed in. So they can watch it on a live stream. They can watch it, on TV, but they can't be part of this process. So we'll have to see if they do show up and vote in November.
Yeah, we'll be watching that. And we'll also be watching at the very beginning. It looks like the delegates are milling there. When it officially starts, whether the main Democrat Party will kick things off with a stolen land acknowledgement statement, which they tend to like to do.
Yeah, that's right. All right. And then
Dana, good morning. Well, Troy Jackson effectively becomes the Democratic Senate nominee in Maine days before the Democratic Party holds its nominating convention to pick its candidate this Saturday. Here's how we already know the outcome. Democrats spent the weekend electing 500 county delegates who will pick Graham Plattner's replacement at the convention. Those delegates ran publicly declaring who they will support. Well, more than 450 of the 500 winning delegates said they would back Jackson. Even though these delegates can ultimately vote for anyone at the convention, Jackson is now the likely nominee. So over the last 24 hours, Jackson's 4 main competitors have dropped out of the race, clearing the way for him to formally win the nomination on Saturday. He'd replace Plattner, who won the Democratic primary in a landslide, but was forced to quit after being accused of rape, which he denies. Jackson's policy platform is virtually the same as Plattner. He supports expanding the Supreme Court, Medicare for all, abolishing ICE, and wants to raise taxes on billionaires.
I believe that we can take on corporate price gouging and lower costs for working families. I believe we can build housing that people can afford. I believe that workers deserve the freedom to unionize without intimidation, retaliation, or fear.
The 58-year-old fifth-generation logger served 22 years in Maine's state legislature. He ran for governor in June, but finished third in the Democratic primary, despite being endorsed by Senator Bernie Sanders. Maine's Republican Party said Democrat insiders cherry-picked their radical nominee, adding this nomination process is a sham and leaves behind thousands of Maine voters. Democrats are trying to unseat Republican Susan Collins in a toss-up race that could determine control of the Senate. Dana?
Interesting. Very interesting. So, very interesting. So that's very interesting.
Jokes and jabs from President Trump.
Nope. So, yeah. And so there's a lawsuit that's been filed, which I don't have the story here, but just so you know, there's a lawsuit that's been filed because it turns out that there's a law in Maine that says that if you lose, you can only run for one office at a time. So during one election cycle. So since this guy, Jackson, has already run for governor and lost in the primary, he technically isn't allowed to run for Senate in the same election cycle. So we'll see what happens if they actually enforce the law, and make make him not be able to run. They don't have the money to run races like they used to. Yeah. He's hopefully not a chocolate logger, probably. I believe an idiot set up my audio system. You joined in October of 2001. Give Jim a like. I did it twice. Thank you. Thank you. If the people are willing to vote for a Plattner, that proves democracy picks the worst willing. Yeah, it's true. It's true. So it's a problem, I think. So there's a lawsuit, so we'll have to check. It's a rule, not a law. No, it's a law. It's a Maine law, state law. You can only run for one office per election cycle. It's like they call it like a sore loser law, so that you can't lose a primary and then go back and run in the general like a thing. But it says you can only run for in one election per cycle, basically. So, all right, and then updates on the crash in Germany. Radical Muslims wanted in the deadly vehicle ramming attack at the Berlin Pride Parade, a pro-Islam diversity event. In recent years, there's been a surge in Muslims carrying out car rammings in Germany and other European countries. In 2016, a radical Muslim carried out one of the most deadly mass shootings in the U.S. at the Pulse nightclub, killing 49 people. Police say they have identified a suspect. The person has not been arrested. They are known to police as a member of the Berlin's Islamist scene. We've now identified the suspected perpetrator. Measures against the suspected perpetrator, who's not yet been arrested, are underway. However, the suspect perpetrator is known to police as a member of the Islamist scene here in Berlin. So are losers like a trans, yes. So let's not jump to conclusions on a Berlin Pride. And he's a Muslim. Berlin police have identified the suspect in Saturday night's deadly vehicle ramming at the Pride celebrations. He's known to authorities at the local Islamist scene. I don't understand how you give Medicare to everyone when I had to wait till I was 65 to get it, just like all retired people. Yeah. Yeah, that's not, That law is for others, not the demon rats. When they need it to go away, it just disappears. Well, we'll see. We'll see. So police say the vehicle appeared to have been deliberately driven at participants. Emergency crews treated the victims at the scene while several roads to Berlin were closed as police secured the area and searched for evidence. Measures are underway. Yeah, well, they're probably worried that they're going to have to bring in like special, like their whatever they call it, their special forces type of thing to anti-terrorism people because in case they have bombs or something like that. So authorities have not yet released the suspect's name or provided further details about his links to Islamic circles. LGBTQ pro-Islam, and this happens. You can't write this shit. It's funny, isn't it? Investigators are examining the vehicle's movements, which witnesses testimony and surveillance footage. Berlin Pride draws large crowds each year as one of Germany's most prominent LGBTQ events. Police urge the public to avoid speculation. Yes, GSG9. Yes, they're going to have to bring those guys in to probably go in, and measures are underway. And we got this. Chicago residents fume as 7 grocery stores close despite the city spending millions of tax dollars to save them. The people of Chicago received a hard lesson that crime and socialism have catastrophic consequences, as grocery stores are shuttering across the city. Fox 32 reported 7 Save-A-Lot stores on the Windy City south and west side. This comes despite the stores receiving $13.5 million in a city grant to stay open. But Save-A-Lot previously cut ties with Yellow Banana, which operates the stores, leaving the operator with no choice. In addition, Yellow Banana suffered a blow when CEO Joe Canfield died of a stroke at the age of 54 in April. Block Club Chicago also notes that Yellow Banana had a hard enough time opening the stores to begin with due to missed deadlines, protests, legal disputes, sudden closures, and scathing national headlines. The closure of these stores will make it harder for residents of the south and west side to find fresh groceries. These are impoverished, crime-ridden areas that are already struggling with food insecurity. Commie Mayor Bannon Johnson, of course, was quick to blame the federal government, citing cuts to SNAP benefits. You know what's happening at the federal level. That's what's causing the disruption. I'm going to continue to do my part. The hope is that our different leaders can come together to find a way. Several residents spoke to Fox 32, expressed their exasperation at the closures. It's bad because this is the only reasonable store that we have around the neighborhoods. The only reasonable stores around the neighborhoods. I mean, I guess. Hold on a second. You don't buy Yellow Bananas. Weird name for a store. Oh. What's this reports of Oman wanting to resume talks? I have no idea. I haven't seen anything. Like I said, I haven't seen any news. If the store just opened and now it's going to close down again, we got nothing. I don't know what we're going to do. Other residents expressed concern about what closures would mean for employees of the stores. Chicago sank $14 million into a discount grocery chain and it went under. It's progressivism in action. Overpromise, waste tax dollars, and watch it fail miserably, then shrug it off. Progressives don't care about a plan succeeding. They only care about looking good for the cameras.
Sure, it's going to be an impact on the community and people close nearby that they won't be able to get necessities and what they need at a convenience for them.
So, you know, that's bad, though, because this is the only little cheap, you know, not cheap, but reasonable store that we have around the neighborhoods.
You know, it's just opened up. Now it's about to close down again. We have nothing. You know, so I don't know what we're going to do. There's nothing around here. No stores. This is based on the store you can come to. You know, that you get fresh produce and, you know, get groceries for little or nothing.
And like I say, a majority of the people that work in here.
Wait, did you hear that? To get groceries for little or nothing. Did you hear that? Hold on. Let me go back it up. Listen. She's going to say, listen to what she says. She says, the only place you can come to you can get groceries for little or nothing. That's the problem. Stop stealing, assholes. They can't stay in business when you fucking rob them all day long. Yeah, stop stealing from them.
Come to, you know, that you get fresh produce and, you know, get groceries for little or nothing.
You get groceries for little or nothing. That's the problem.
that you get fresh produce and you don't get groceries for little or nothing.
And like I say, a majority of the people that work in here, they like my family, so I know the struggle. I was there. I saw it. So it's like, man, another blow to the community, and ain't nothing we could do about it.
Stop stealing. Stop stealing, assholes. I ain't got no time for that. Yeah. That's insane. Yeah, she admits it. We get groceries for little or nothing. Well, if you keep stealing from the fucking stores, then they got to close down. They can't stay open. That's the way that works. That's the way that works. What's to say? Live updates from the Iran war. Okay, we'll pull that up next. That's what I'll do after this one. Just for all the people that want to talk. I mean, I thought we didn't want to talk about Iran every day. So, but look at this. Intern at NATO headquarters faces espionage charges in Belgium. We had 14 million. It's gone. Sounds like a Ponzi scheme. Yeah. Nothing meaning she has an EBT card. No, I don't think that's what she meant. I don't think that's what she meant. In Belgium, home of the military headquarters for the NATO organization, police made an arrest of geopolitical significance. A Canadian woman of Chinese origin. A Canadian woman of Chinese origin. Does that mean she was a Chinese person? Was spying. Belgian police pulled a suspected spy out of NATO headquarters. Canadian intern of Chinese origin was arrested at SHAPE, the alliance's top military command, on spying. Snap, Wick. No, I don't think she meant any of that. That's not what she meant. That's not what she meant. She said for little or nothing. It's not what she meant. So she's suspected of spying on behalf of a third country and being a member of a criminal organization. The woman worked as an intern. So what country? Yeah, an original Chinese woman. Yes, 5-finger discount, definitely. So the woman was an intern and did not provide further details. She's spying for China. Spying for China. That's who she was fucking spying for. Why are we hiding this? NATO's headquarters do planning and carrying out all the operations of the Transatlantic Military Alliance. The suspect had come to the attention of SHAPE Security Services, who reported her to Belgian intelligence officials. A Canadian woman of Chinese origin who was an intern at the NATO site has been arrested for spying. You don't say.
We're following developing news regarding a Canadian being arrested on suspicion of spying. A Canadian woman of Chinese origin who was an intern at a NATO site in Belgium has now been arrested on spying charges. The Belgian prosecutor says further details, including her name, would not be disclosed at this time. Journalist Dominic Valitis is following this story and has the latest from Bristol, England.
The Belgian authorities are remaining pretty tight-lipped about all this. We're told that this was a Canadian woman of Chinese origin who has been arrested on suspicion of spying for a third country while working as an intern for NATO. Prosecutors are also saying she is suspected of being a member of a criminal organization, although they've not revealed her identity or provided any further details regarding the allegations that she is now facing. We understand the arrest took place at SHAPE, which is NATO's military command headquarters in Mons, Belgium, responsible for planning and conducting operations. So it's a key military command within the alliance, which makes this case especially sensitive, particularly at a time when European security services are increasingly alert to espionage risks linked to military institutions, international organizations, and critical infrastructure. But not a great deal of information surrounding this arrest, as I say. Lots of questions remain unanswered. We don't know how long this woman had been working for NATO, or what level of access she may have had, or whether anyone else has been arrested in connection with the case. Crucially, the authorities are not giving us any indication of which country she may have been acting on behalf, or what information if any, may have been involved. But given the alleged involvement of a Canadian national, the suggestion of a Chinese background, and the apparent involvement of a NATO facility, this case could become a significant security and diplomatic issue. Dominic Politis for CBC News, Bristol, England.
You don't say. It could be a serious, significant issue. You don't say. Wanted by the FBI. Look at, Jing Wing Wu, Xing Chong Kling, Wang Dong Ding, ugly gorilla. Yes. Scientists convicted of spying for China, most recent in Chinese espionage. Look at them. Wow. So that's what's happening. That is what's happening. That is what's happening. So, yeah.
The U.S. bombing campaign against Iran paused Friday after 13 consecutive nights. The hostilities ramped up when the ceasefire agreement crumbled earlier this month. A new video this morning shows smoke billowing from a Saudi Aramco oil refinery in the area of Jazan after a reported Houthi missile and drone attack. Senior national security correspondent Charlie D'Agata is in Jordan with the latest developments. Charlie, good morning.
Good morning to you, Kelly. So, yeah, we've been in touch with U.S. Central Command this morning. And for the first time in 2 weeks, the U.S. military did not announce new airstrikes overnight following 13 nights in a row of bombing. But the entire region, including Jordan, remains on a knife edge. In a video verified by CBS News, a drone likely fired by Iranian local proxies streaks across the sky in northern Iraq before it's shot down in flames by U.S. air defenses. One of 5 intercepted drones aiming for the airport in Erbil, neighboring the main U.S. airbase in Iraq. U.S. Central Command has been giving daily updates along with videos said to show multiple airstrikes targeting Iranian assets in an attempt to break the siege of the Strait of Hormuz. And while President Trump hasn't walked back his threat of a massive attack, he said he remains open to talks when asked about an exit strategy.
There's a military exit where we just keep going just the way we are, and we can even make it a heavier dose, and it's knocking out everything they have. Or there's a smarter strategy, and that's you make a deal, and they want to make a deal.
But CBS News has now learned that the Secret Service's decision for the president to take the old Air Force One from the NATO summit in Turkey earlier this month, swapping the new one donated by Qatar he flew in on, followed a credible plot by Iran or its proxies to fire a missile at the plane. Analysts say the new plane still lacks the sophisticated defensive capabilities of old Air Force One. Meanwhile, with vessels still stranded in the Strait of Hormuz, Iranian-backed Houthi rebels in Yemen continue to lay siege to the Bab al-Mandeb Strait, shutting down transit through the Red Sea.
Now, how is a ship like this shutting down the strait? Look at this ship. You could just crash into it and sink it.
Which sent oil prices soaring to $100 a barrel this week for the first time since May. Now, escalating tensions even further, U.S. Central Command says American forces fired on and disabled an oil tanker in the Gulf of Oman after it repeatedly attempted to breach that U.S. blockade. Errol?
All right, Charlie, thank you.
An amazing.
Yeah. So, talks between Oman and Iran on reopening the strait and respective territorial waters made progress. After 13 consecutive nights of strikes, there was no new reports of bombing overnight on Saturday. Ukrainian President Zelensky on Saturday accused Russia of assisting Iran in targeting U.S. bases. U.S. military said Friday it disabled a commercial ship. Diplomatic talks, it says on the strait, make progress. Omani officials traveled to Tehran for talks. So, they outreach to Trump and coincided with his decision to pause the U.S. bombing. So I don't think they're ready, but I think it's time, but I'm willing to listen. So Iran's foreign ministry condemns Ukrainian attack on a commercial vessel in the Caspian Sea. Yes, I saw that. I think I have. Let me find a video of it. Let me find it. Sorry. Here it is. Here it is. So Ukraine successfully taken out a ship that was transporting weapons from Russia to Iran, or between Russia and Iran. What do you think? You see it? You want to see it again? Wow. Pretty cool, huh? Pretty cool, huh? So, yeah. So Iran's foreign ministry condemned what it called the Ukrainian attack on Iranian commercial vessel in the Caspian Sea, saying one person was killed. Iran's foreign minister said he spoke with the European Union foreign policy chief about it and demanded a response. Ukrainian president said that Ukraine achieved very strong results with long-range strikes in the Caspian Sea, including vessels used in military cargo shipments involving Iran. Hey, Drunken Senpai has rated the stream. Thank you so much, Off Label Podcast, for coming in over there on the Rumble. Thank you so much. Talks don't work, period. No, they don't. They don't work. They never work. So Zelensky accuses Russia of assisting Iran with satellite images. So Zelensky said on Saturday that he will share evidence with the United States showing Russia is assisting Iran with targeting U.S. bases. Since the beginning of July, we recorded active Russian satellite surveillance of the Gulf states. These images subsequently appear in Iran at the same time. There is a clear correlation between Russia's satellite imagery of these sites and Iranian strikes, both before the attacks and preparation for them and afterwards to assess the damage. Zelensky's accusations of Russia helping Iran target U.S. troops are not the first. The allegation has lingered in the media over the past few months. During a hearing on Capitol Hill, Pete Hegseth was directly asked whether Russia or China was helping Iran. His answer was somewhat unclear, but he did say they were helping Iran. It was unclear, but he said they were helping. How's that unclear? How exactly is that unclear to say they're helping? There's definitely adversary alignment attempts to do so. There's many ways which we deter that, and in depth and extent of it ought to remain classified. But there are ways in which both of those countries are limiting at different levels, enabling some of the things Iran is doing. However, just days later, Trump contradicted the Secretary of Defense, saying he did not believe they were assisting Iran. Therefore, the two major countries that people speak often of in terms of Iran are, in my opinion, not participating. If they did, it would be very bad for them. So is this Trump saying, oh, I talked to them and they told me no, and I believe them? I figured out the IRGC logic. It's better to be a prince in hell than serve in heaven. They will rule their section of Iranian fire and brimstone as long as they don't have to take a knee. That's probably what they're doing. So on July 19th and 20th alone, 4 air bases fell within the area of interest of Russian satellites, 2 in Bahrain, 1 in Jordan, and 1 in Kuwait. The purpose is clear. None of us in the world should turn a blind eye to the simple fact that evil always seeks ways to make things worse and spread further. Russia must be stopped. Hey, what's up? Hope everyone enjoyed both episode 2 and 3 of Childhood's End. I'm drunk and need bed now. Have a good night, everyone. Well, okay. Oh, please, as if Ukraine could tell us something we don't already know. That's what I'm saying. For real. So the Iran's foreign minister says there's no military solution to the Yemen conflict. Well, we'll see about that. We believe there's no military solution to Yemen. He said Yemen cannot be attributed to Iran, and the incident in the Straits were rooted in old disputes. Returning to the path of dialogue and full implementation of the agreed roadmap is the only way to end the suffering of the Yemeni people. We'll see about that. Look at this. We got one gifted membership. Thank you, Charles. That means, folks, we are now just $9 away from adding a first additional hour to the show. Thank you so much, Charles. Let's see who got that. It says that went to who? Says Creo Dog got that. Creo G got it. Thank you. Welcome to the JimSomniacs, Cree. And thank you, Charles. Thank you, Charles. Yes, me. Thank you, Charles, for the gifted membership. So, yeah, that's what they're saying. And then Trump calls LeBron James a racist when asked if he's better than Michael Jordan. Maybe he's a racist, or maybe he doesn't like Trump. Trump reasons that LeBron is either a racist or he just doesn't like Trump. Russian Telegram is constantly posting Russian satellite images of our ME stuff, and the object of negotiations is not to end, but to buy time for fate to complete. So Peter Ducey asked Trump if he thinks Michael Jordan is better than LeBron James. Of course, Michael Jordan is better. Anyone who doesn't think
Today, I'm going to teach you the pink salt trick.
Oh, pink
or
salt.
Even better, natural mound.
This is how I zero all my sites without having to
Zero,
go to the
zero,
range.
zero, zero, zero,
This
zero,
here is the
zero.
board laser zeroing kit from.
President Trump, today it was announced LeBron James has decided that he wants his next team to be the 76ers. Where do you stand on LeBron versus Michael Jordan as the best ever?
Well, Michael Jordan's a guy that's a friend of mine. Play golf with him. He's a really good guy. And I think LeBron is, maybe he's a racist, but maybe he doesn't like Trump. I don't know. But I only like people that like me. So I would say Michael Jordan all the way.
And another sport.
Yeah, there you go. Michael Jordan all the way. That's what I say. That's what I say. Michael Jordan all the way. Nobody's better than MJ. Yeah. So that's great. Yeah. Maybe he's a racist. LeBron's a racist. Yeah. There you go. President Trump took Michael Jordan over LeBron James and said LeBron James is a racist. So that's great. All right. Now we're going to talk about Shiloh Hendricks a little bit. All right. And I don't know if you guys have seen the breaking news about the guy who was NBA sucks. Yes, that's the most Trump thing ever. That's right. Imagine wasting POTUS time with a question like that. So we get information from no, we don't get any information from Ukrainian satellites at all. We have our own satellites. Jordan's hang time will be legendary forever. Yeah. So Democrat anti-justice comes for Shiloh Hendricks and free speech. Remember this lady? So if there's ever a doubt on how to persevere or how the perverse Democrats' approach to the justice system truly is, think back to what happened to 37-year-old woman named Shiloh Hendricks. Hendricks on Thursday was sentenced by a judge in Rochester, Minnesota to 200 hours of community service and a $1,000 fine. All that for an incident captured on video at a playground last year where Hendricks was seen holding her young child and walking away from a man who was demanding that she speak to him. I hope this goes all the way up to the chain of the Supreme Court. This ruling is dangerous. Yeah. If I were a content creator with the New York Times, this is where I'd leave out all the additional context regarding the incident because I'm honest. Well, because I'm honest, here's the rest. Prior to what's seen on camera, an 8-year-old boy had rummaged through Hendricks' bag and taken something. Hendricks, who was white, approached the boy and used a racial slur. A bystander who saw the interaction and started video recording, demanding Hendricks use the slur again. She told him to mind his own business and began walking away. The man recording, Sharmake Omar, follows Hendricks and dares her to say it. Hendricks replies, F you, and uses the slur several more times and then continues walking away. Omar follows her after Hendricks says the 8-year-old took something from her to argue some more, and Hendricks walks off holding her child. So,
Did you call him a nigger, the child? The fuck you talking Did you call the child the nigger word? It is my own business. You call him a nigger?
So this guy repeatedly said, this is the problem here. This guy repeatedly said the word on camera. So how is it that this is the definition of content-based laws with speech? He said the word, but she goes to jail for saying the word he just said. A boy who was wearing an ankle monitor. Yes. So that's what earned Hendricks 2 disorderly conduct charges from city prosecutors. She was acquitted of one regarding her interaction with the 8-year-old and convicted the other, which involved Omar, the videographer, who was never in court. Hendricks never put her hands on anyone other than to hold her own child, and the only time she engaged another person was to retrieve her belongings and tell a bystander to back off. Her only offense otherwise was to use a slur, which was admittedly the worst she could possibly use. But he was able to use the slur, though. She was charged she was charged for the comment to the camera. No, she was found guilty for the comment. She was charged for both. She was found guilty for the comment to the cameraman who did not appear to testify. That's correct. There's no defense for using racial slurs. The guy just used a racial slur. Why are we ignoring that the guy was using the same slur? Under old America, it wasn't a crime to say something offensive in response to being offended. And it wasn't a crime to walk away from attempted provocation. Under the new America, that's no longer true, at least if you're white. Under the new America, Democrats and the dying media across the nation will fly first class to your defense if you're a black person or an illegal alien trying to evade arrest, steal, or use racial arguments to tear down unassuming Americans. Public and private property is torched and looted in major cities if a drug addict ends up dead while resisting arrest, so long as he's black. But a white woman who uses a slur after having her things stolen is nearly locked up for 3 months. That's the Democrat version of American justice. The guy's a pedophile too. That's right. What's up, Spuds? Good to see you. So yeah. And then you got this guy here, a black man who committed 2 felonies while recording himself bragging about it. Jamal Lewis is now desperately trying to backtrack and claim that all the money received through his fake fundraising has been returned. It was just internet fun. So this guy set up a fake account as Shiloh Hendricks on X and started asking a fake PayPal and started taking money, all right, from people.
I just created a page, talking about shit on there, just doing the same thing that everybody else do, including white folks saying that where they got the fake profiles with the black profile pic, and then they just pretend to be part of the black community. So I'm like, that seems fun. I'm using the internet wrong. Everybody else on the internet is like having so much fun and just everybody's doing the same thing. So I created mine, and ain't gonna cap. It only got to like 300-400 subscribers. Now, here's the part I can't take credit for. All right, the profile been created for like a year or something like that. This more, I guess there was I completely lost track of what was happening in that court case. I'll be honest with you, but apparently she was convicted of a crime or something like that, and then they found the page and started following it. I just started getting a whole bunch of notifications, and I'm like, why is there a whole lot of notifications on this page that I like don't even like log into? And next thing I know, it was just like at 700, then 800, and then it just kept going, and that's how I ended up just going along with it. And it ended up getting 30-something thousand subscribers. Like, ooh, and that the peaceful side you're supposed.
Yeah, no, he's lying. He's backtracking. All right, he's backtracking and lying. We got more of this guy. Yeah, it's just like never trust an account such as this without 100% verification. You've been scammed. Call the FBI. Black man pretending to be Shiloh Hendricks online. Scam people. This is what white people call it. So here he is. This is him. Now, this was him earlier, laughing about it.
Hey, I scam MAGA. Hey, MAGA, give me that bread. So come get me.
Yeah, so I think he realized that he committed multiple felonies by creating a fake account. They found a person scamming, pretending to be Shiloh Hendricks. Hopefully the police are on the way to pick him up. I thought there was more. Oh, here's a good video for you guys. You guys want to see something that's going to really make you angry? Asheville, North Carolina Police Department appears to be deliberately trying to hide the fact that a mass shooting downtown was committed by black people. There is no longer any other explanation. From the start, we all knew the shooting was black gang violence. All right. I waited for more information to come up before saying anything. But after the most recent press conference, it's very clear to me that the Asheville Police Department is purposely trying to obfuscate the truth. They definitely don't want it getting out that black gangs are shooting at each other in Asheville and killing each other, but that's what's happening. From the get-go, I knew something was off because the Asheville Police Department did not put out any information regarding the race of the suspects or the race of the victims or descriptions or anything. Nothing. Despite an insane amount of people online who clearly said the shootings were committed by black individuals. And now, finally, after many days, the chief of police comes out at a podium and asks very straightforward, is this gang violence? And in all of my life, I've never seen someone dodge the question this absurdly for this long and this many times in a row. She quite honestly bends over backwards to avoid any implication at all that it was black gang violence. Statistics are not racist. And until we start telling the truth about what's actually happening in our cities, nothing is going to change. Before I play this, let's acknowledge that we had a gifted membership from Charles. Thank you. Thank you so much for that gifted membership from Charles. And that means we are now $3 away from adding a first additional hour to the show. Thank you so much, Charles. Let's see who got that one. It says Doc, number 27, received the gifted membership from Charles. So Doc, 27, welcome to the JimSomniacs, Doc. Thank you. And then Charles gifted another membership.
Tactical assessment. Red Chinese victory. Impossible.
America will never fall to communist invasion. Communism is the very definition of failure.
Thank you for the second membership. And the second person that Charles made a member was Kevin Prestaro. So Kevin, hey, welcome to the JimSomniacs, and thank you again, Charles. And with that, folks, that means we are now $97 away from adding a second additional hour to the show. Thank you so much to everybody who donated. Doc and Kevin are green again. Thank you. Thanks for the gift memberships. That was cool, Charles. Thank you. Wow, Jimmy. That's right. Hey, Spud. 7% of our population committing 50% of the homicides. They do not still see an issue. I don't know. But check this. This is upsetting.
Does the Asheville Police Department believe this is two families that are rivaling against each other here, or is it gang violence?
This is a group of individuals who know one another.
The group of individuals who know one another.
Gang violence, or would it be just two guys that got in a fight over a bar or something like that?
These are groups, again, that are committing acts of violence against one another.
Like crime groups?
I would say these are two groups of individuals. I would say there are, ties to them knowing each other and committing ongoing retaliatory acts against one another.
Does the Asheville Police Department believe this is?
I mean, how pathetic is it that that's the response? For the record, I will not be taking my family downtown anymore. It's obvious that Asheville officials are far more concerned with avoiding accusations of racism than actual safety of my children. If families no longer feel comfortable bringing children downtown, you've already lost the plot. A city's first responsibility is to provide an environment where ordinary people can live, work, shop, and raise their families without constantly wondering if they're safe. My wife and I love the restaurants. They all agree with us. Things are bad and they're getting worse. The violence is increasing. I love Asheville, always will. It's where my wife, where I found love. But until they do something, nothing's going to change. Facts are racist. We will be fined and censored. Yeah. If they were white, why would she have? Would she have opened with that? Probably. You're racist if you read the stats or don't pander to the Democrat voter base in a big city. I guess, Kale. Low volume on the video. Yeah, I turned it up as high as I could. Sorry. It's not high as it would go. Gangs. Yes, gangs. Do the members of the group all wear the same colors? Oh, yeah. So there's that, So it's just crazy what's going on. And it's happening everywhere, man. It's happening everywhere. Wait a minute. Hold on. I had it. Where'd it go? Damn it. What the hell happened? Where did it go? Did I not have the right one up here? Maybe I didn't pull the right one up. My bad. My bad. All right. My bad. So anyway, so let's get to this next story here. Henry Nowak's killer is testified in high security prison following murder conviction. So the guy that stabbed to death, gangs come in all colors. Didn't you see the Warriors? Yeah. It's fatigue that's turning into rot. Yeah, it can be. It can be. It sure can be. I don't know what else to do at this point. Seems like we're at a loss. Really does. Really does seem like we're at a loss here. So yeah, this guy, this killer. If we can only have gangs like the one in Michael Jackson's movie, Beat It. Yeah, that would be good. Which community are they part of? Warriors, come out and play. Yes, that would be good. So yeah, so I will reset the goal on YouTube for another hour. We are $97 away from adding a second additional hour to the show. Thank you to everybody who has been so generous to donate. So Vikram Digwa, the man convicted of murdering British teenager Henry Nowak and falsely accusing him of racism, reportedly arrived at one of the United Kingdom's highest security prisons, shaking in fear. According to a prison service source who spoke to the Daily Mail, Digwa is terrified. I mean, literally shaking. He was in total fear. There was none of that arrogance you saw on the police camera. I think he thought he wouldn't survive the first night. He's on a special watch list because of the recent murders in Franklin, and he fits into the category of people who are at risk because of the nature of his crime and the fact that he's now a high-profile prisoner. There are cons in Franklin who will have a go at him, physically as well as verbally, because of who he is, and so they can boast that they were the ones who beat the shit out of him. Wow. Good. Yeah, well. Saw Toto tonight. Steve Lukather was phenomenal. He also did 90% of the car work on Thriller. Yeah. Well, yeah, Toto was part of the Wrecking Crew, weren't they, that did all the stuff? The headline should be Inhuman Events. Yes. You demand more diversity in the gangs. Unfortunately, his body language makes him look a bit like a victim. Like a bit of a victim. He has scared eyes. I have no idea whether he was some sort of hard man outside of prison, but in Franklin, he looks terrified most of the time, and that can invite an attack. The source that spoke to the outlet described Digwa as vulnerable in prison due to the nature of his crime. The report comes amid a series of recent killings inside UK prisons, including murders involving convicted sex offenders. Speculation has grown that Digwa could be vulnerable because of how high-profile the case has been. Digwa was convicted of fatally stabbing 18-year-old Henry Nowak with a ceremonial Sikh dagger. I wonder if did they let him keep his Sikh dagger in prison? What do you think? You think they let him keep his Sikh dagger in prison? So he's acting like a pussy. Yeah. But I wonder, do you think they let him, because it's a religious dagger, you think they let him keep it? Think they let him keep it in prison? What do you think? What you think? What you think? Mm-hmm. When police arrived, Digwa falsely claimed Nowak had been racially abused him, leading to officers handcuffing the stabbed teen as he bled out and died. You have been diversified. You are not equal. You are not equal to the third world. Yeah, I hope so. When Nowak tried to tell officers he couldn't breathe and been stabbed, the officer said, "I don't think you have, mate." Nowak was read his rights before officers realized he was unresponsive. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The incident led to widespread outrage in the country, particularly among the political right. Activist Tommy Robinson promoted nationwide protests, while Reform UK leader Nigel Farage calls the incident two-tier policing, because it is. Glenn Campbell was in the Wrecking Crew. That I know. The Pericos and Luke Willer were definitely session musicians. Well, I think they were part of the Wrecking Crew. You know, rubber dagger in the shape of a phallic, so it has a double use. So that would work. See, I thought, I thought that I kind of thought that Prince played the guitar on that album. I thought he did for I thought he did it for I thought he did it for that album. I'm not sure though. Maybe I'm wrong. So Digwa's mother was also convicted in the case after she removed the knife used in the stabbing from the scene and hid it in her home. The 53-year-old was sentenced to 3 years in prison after being found guilty of assisting an offender. Kawar is serving her 3-year sentence at Bronzefield, the largest high-security prison for women. However, under sentencing reforms introduced by the Labor government, some prisoners who previously would have served half their sentence may instead become eligible for release after serving just 1/3. If Kawar qualifies, her time spent on remand could be credited towards her sentence, resulting in an early release. He had a song, "I'm Bad." So yeah, they're going to release the people and let them out. So we got this. Body cam videos capture a dramatic moment when officers rescued a 13-year-old girl authorities said was kidnapped and taken more than 130 miles away from her home. Yes, thank Charles. We have a family friend was in the wrecking crew. I think the wrecking crew thing, I think, was something that changed who was in it. It was just a group of the people who played like the session musicians. You know, Weird Al had the song "I'm Fat." Yeah. Deputies arrested 2 suspects after one allegedly tried to flee the scene, striking a Jacksonville Sheriff SWAT vehicle before crashing into the motel. The girls receiving support and resources as the investigation continues.
Over here. On this side, how you doing? In the car. Lock that in. Lock that in. Lock it. He's trying to run it. Oh. Get out of the car. He said, get inside that room. He said, get inside that room. Door's open. Door's open.
Yeah.
About the dumbest thing you could have done. Enjoy the next chapter of your life.
Wait, did you see what does that guy look like on the ground? Oh, did you hear him speaking? Does he say something?
About the dumbest thing you could have done. Enjoy the next chapter of your life.
Wow. So at least they got him. And bless her, yes. At least they saved the girl. They saved the girl, man. For anyone wondering how police tracked a 13-year-old girl to the motel. Harrowing video, the search and arrest will likely hold up under any suppression challenge. I'll explain. Body cam shows, this is the one we just saw, isn't it? Yeah. The defense will almost certainly file a motion to argue officers lack probable cause to track the location and execute the warrant. They'll try to suppress any evidence found. Probable cause started with the 911 call from the James Drive home in Baxley. Giovanni Cardo, the biological mother with no custodial rights, was reportedly banging on the door armed with a knife before she and John Kelly took the 13-year-old. The report plus confirmed abduction triggers a Levi call, Georgia's Amber Alert. So it was a kidnapping. So home invasion, aggravated assault charges stack on top once the knife and forced entry are established. Those facts give magistrate clear grounds for a search warrant once the location was tracked. So the SWAT team, FBI, and GBI arrived on a warrant. The search warrant itself rested on the original kidnapping report. Georgia authorities with GBI involved listed expected charges: kidnapping, home invasion, aggravated assault, kidnapping, home invasion, probation violation.
Watch. This morning on WJCL 22 News, we begin in Washington, D.C., where
at PolitiFact. Well, Frank and Lydia, good morning to you both. President Trump wins.
Thank you so much, Rachel.
There may be.
All right, thanks so much, Sean. Well, a fugitive wanted in connection for that July 4th shooting that happened at Coligny Beach is now in custody.
Yeah, Jasper County deputies say Andre Green has been arrested. Investigators, they tracked him to a home in Pineland. Authorities say Green and another suspect, Jamari Williams, tried to run but were caught. Deputies also recovered a Glock handgun illegally modified with a switch, turning it into a machine gun. Both men now face weapons charges. That investigation continues this morning.
And happening today, the Beaufort County Sheriff's Office and the 14th Circuit Solicitor, they are going to hold a joint press conference to answer questions, also to provide an update.
Reported about 20 minutes later on Cubbage Street. Now, no injuries were reported, but police say several homes were damaged. Investigators have not said if those two shootings are connected.
Now to a tragic update in the case of a missing boater on Tybee Island. According
But they said there's going to be a story about
crews had been searched.
It's needed to.
Where's the story about the girl? They said the story was in the They said the story was in here. They said the video is in here. Above video, your Friday headlines. 2 people are facing multiple charges. They abducted a 13-year-old girl from South Georgia home. Why would you say it's in there and it's not in there? Carter's expected to face charges including kidnapping, home invasion, and aggravated assault. Yeah, this is more about that kidnapping and stuff. And then Trump posts an AI image of Canada walled off from the U.S. with a giant air filter. That would be good, right? That would be good. MERV 16, high efficiency particle filter. North American air filter barrier. To keep Canada. That would be one way to stop wildfire smoke. They're going to hold Canada responsible for filthy, polluted, unhealthy air. More than 100 million people in 18 states were under air quality alerts. That's funny, right? Tybee Island, I knew a girl from there. Why are they black? I don't know. Why are they not black? What color are they supposed to be? Who made them that way? I don't know. God? And then Carmelo Anthony has been granted a hearing to request a new trial after his conviction for murdering Austin Metcalf. Wait, we're building a wall on the north border? Yeah, it's going to be made out of whatchamacallit, out of an air filter. It's going to be made out of an air filter. So Carmelo Anthony's going to get a new trial, or requesting a new trial. There's going to be a hearing on a new trial. The first hearing is scheduled for August 19th, when Anthony's attorneys will argue that the state judge should be removed from the appeals process. You all are still public affiliated with the pro-child slavery Confederacy leader, Donald Trump. Oh, dude. There's something wrong with you, man. Really is. So Carmelo Anthony is set to appear in court next month for 2 post-conviction hearings as his legal team attempts to overturn his murder conviction in the fatal stabbing of Austin Metcalf. The first hearing is scheduled for August 19th, when Anthony's attorney will argue the state judge should be removed from the appeals process. Defense alleged that Roach demonstrated bias by making comments about the case after the trial concluded. Anthony's attorney says that Roach expressed personal opinions about the propriety and correctness of the jury's verdict, the fairness of the trial, and the correctness of the judge's own rulings during the trial. But they just built a long bridge from Detroit to Toronto. Yeah, and then they didn't celebrate it. The Gordie Howe Bridge. Yeah, sure. Let some lib judge grant it, and they're going to see something different. Yeah, maybe. A reporter asked Roach if the jury got Anthony's conviction correct, to which he responded, yeah, they did. And he continues discussing the outcome of the case. So a second hearing will take place the following day, when Anthony's team is expected to argue for a new trial. Anthony was convicted last month of first-degree murder and sentenced to 35 years in prison for the murder of a 17-year-old at a high school track meet. Yeah, after the trial concluded. The question was, do you think the jury got it right? Yeah, I think they did. Are you serious? That's your argument? Was he supposed to say, no, they didn't? Last month, the judge ordered the release of security cam footage and police body cam footage that's presented as evidence in the trial. A team of civil rights attorneys announced in June said they will represent Anthony during the appeals. The case has drawn national attention, which some activists characterize the case as having racial implications because of the races of Anthony and Metcalf. In their motion for a new trial, the attorneys claimed that several errors occurred during the proceedings, citing how portions of the trial were closed to the public, that prosecutors failed to honor an off-the-record agreement, and they claimed that jury instruction made it difficult for juries to fully consider Anthony's self-defense claim. During the trial, people on the side of Carmelo had claimed it was unfair that there were no black jurors, even though there were multiple minority jurors. So, yeah, that's the arguments they're going to make. Got this. A bombshell. Investigative journalist Catherine Harris says she found evidence that Joe Biden's family was being blackmailed by China. And shows the documents. What we saw in the release of the records, when I'm afraid to think the legacy media or that there's some kind of willful blindness. They didn't want to look at the records. She pretends She explains that it was all ignored and buried by the CIA, I'm sorry, and FBI and everybody. Yeah, if he said the jury got it wrong, they'll make the judge their star witness. And still slavery in Africa. Yes, there is. Racist, the dude was white, and he slayed these people, irritate me. Yeah. I hope he has a Skype and a hearing instead of being released from prison. Yeah.
Release of the records, which I'm afraid, I think in the media or legacy media, there was kind of a willful blindness. They didn't want to look at the records. All you had to do was spend a couple of hours. I found these records, which are talking about blackmail by China. It was for President Biden's daily brief. I can conclude, I think, that it was probably about targeting his family. When that kind of information is not reaching a decision maker, ultimately the United States and the American people are the losers.
Right.
And I think that's what people need to be focused on.
Well, it's dangerous as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're not getting into it.
So this is wild. So in these documents she's holding right here, we're being told is information and evidence that the Biden family is being blackmailed by China. This is something that we all thought was happening, but now there seems to be proof. Now we're not being told what the proof is, but she's saying that it is there, and I'm sure it will be released. So we can speculate a little bit. I found a clip that I shared a while back, and I think that we'll just revisit it right now. Here it is. And this is on CNN, and what they're saying right here is that the Biden family admitted in court that they were being paid off by Chinese companies. So I think it's worth listening to this after what we just listened to in that previous video.
Oh, sounds good.
And Kristen, Glenn Kessler from the Washington Post had a fact check about Joe Biden from earlier this month, noting that Hunter Biden admitted in court in July that he was in fact paid substantial sums from Chinese companies. Kessler wrote, Hunter Biden reported nearly $2.4 million in income in 2017 and $2.2 million in income in 2018, most of which came from Chinese or Ukrainian interests. But
So right there, let me just stop it right there. So right here, the Biden family is being paid millions year after year from China. I mean, it doesn't get any clearer than this.
What's it say? From what I'm reading, the Iran nuclear program has been stopped in its tracks and forward progress has stopped. But how do we to get the uranium? I don't know. Catherine Harris is usually on point. Yeah, usually. Well, it's not the media's job to prosecute crime. Where's the DOJ? A father showers with his daughter, an uncle sleeps with his niece, a brother humps his deceased brother's wife while having an affair with her sister and impregnates an ex-stripper. Sound familiar? The Bidens. That's crazy. Very crazy. Very crazy. Very, very crazy. Very, very crazy. Very, very crazy. So you're fired. Joe, Roland, and CCP Joe Biden. That's right. Hey, Lynn Williams, great to see you. Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation boots leftist staff attorney after profane anti-ICE meltdown, vowed to make agents' lives effing miserable. Yeah, this crazy broad right here. We are done with what? What are you talking about? The smartest person I have ever known, Joe Biden. Yeah. Current Ayatollah has doubled down on getting a nuke. Oh, okay. So, Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation has fired a staff attorney after she posted a profane-laced anti-ICE tirade. Shannon Deschereaux, a leftist assistant general counsel at the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation, has been fired after posting an expletive-laced TikTok tirade in which she refused to cooperate with ICE, claiming the agency has no authority and no jurisdiction over U.S. citizens, and urged Americans to make their lives effing miserable. OSBI confirmed the termination of Fox News after completing an internal investigation. Once we were made aware of her social media post, we opened an internal investigation. On completion of the internal investigation, she was terminated. Since this is a personnel matter, we are unable to further comment. Deschereaux's unhinged video, which first exploded after libs of TikTok amplified it in July. Conservatives really think they're doing something when they say just comply. When it comes to ICE, the United States citizen, why the fuck would I comply? Someone who has no jurisdiction over me. So they have the video here? Okay, they have the video, so we'll play the video. So, unhinged meltdown.
Conservatives really think they're doing something when they say just comply when it comes to ICE and United States citizens. And it just shows that they really just fucking chirp with no understanding of what they're talking about, because why the fuck would I comply with someone who has no jurisdiction over me? ICE has no authority and no jurisdiction over U.S. citizens. So why the fuck would I comply with an order given?
This is someone who claims to be an attorney, and she thinks a federal law enforcement officer has no jurisdiction. They still can enforce all federal law. That's like saying the DEA can't do anything to you if they catch you with a gun, or the ATF can't do anything to you if they catch you with drugs. Are these people retarded? Seriously. Is there any sane people anymore? I don't know, man. Stupid attorney. You ain't kidding. This is a stupid attorney.
To me at gunpoint by somebody who has no fucking authority to make that order. I'm not going to. That's the fucking thing. And an ICE warrant, by the way, 99% of the time is an administrative warrant. It's not good enough for the fucking Fourth Amendment. It doesn't give you access to my house. It doesn't give you access to my car. And it certainly doesn't give you access to fucking arrest me. I was born here and I'm gonna make it an ICE agent's problem. I don't have to fucking comply with ICE because I was born here. And every citizen needs to have that fucking mindset. We need to make their lives fucking miserable. And that's exactly what we should be doing.
Wow. This woman worked for this. No, this woman worked for the fucking, this woman worked for the fucking Oklahoma attorney for Oklahoma government. She does not speak for Oklahoma. Her comments attacking the credibility of Mission ICE do not reflect the values of Oklahomans. She was worked in the general counsel's office. This is crazy. More TikTok show her. She made multiple posts after the assassination of Charlie Kirk, mocking him, blaming Charlie's own murder, and attacking conservatives.
And you could put my balls on a pita bread with some hummus and tahini and eat that to the face. You feel me? Mind your fucking business. Nobody asked you anything.
Oh, Charlie Kirk, whatever. So, yeah, so she's just a shitbag.
Can't sit here and say the left has a monopoly on violence when the left is the only party that has ever tried to do anything to keep what happened to Charlie Kirk from happening. I have voted since I was 18 in favor of Charlie Kirk's safety more than Charlie Kirk ever did.
Yeah. The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation. Oh, here she is. There she is. Like, what is these people? This is crazy. She must cut her own hair. Yeah. Green eyes and red hair. Even I wouldn't try to fix that one. Yeah. Slim pickings. Maybe. She reminds me of Sam Brinton. Her brains are scrambled. Yeah, she seems sweet, right? So, I don't know. So, Republican governor candidate also praised the outcome. Big news. Sources tell me the ICE-hating radical leftist has been terminated from her employment. I'm surprised, I'm surprised she hasn't sued yet, to claim something, somehow that, that she shouldn't have been fired. So it's been confirmed that this radical leftist who works for the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation has been fired. You bet she's single? No, look at someone thinks it's a man. I don't know what that is. If it's a man, a woman, it's a something, her, whatever. Who knows? Who knows what that is? A federal appeals court rejected the Trump administration's bid to enforce key parts of President Trump's executive order tightening mail-in voting rules in 23 Demon Rat states, keeping a lower court injunction in place. The 2-1 ruling found the states are already facing looming election deadlines and must prepare now, rejecting the administration's argument that the lawsuit was premature. The The Justice Department previously told the court it could seek emergency relief from the U.S. Supreme Court if it lost the appeal. Well, yeah, that's what they're going to do. Federal Appeals Court rejects Trump bid to enforce mail-in ballot order. So, oh yeah, this is a good one here. So
We will pass the Save America Act to protect our sacred American election. It's very simple. All voters must show a photo, voter ID. Very nice. May we see a picture, please? All voters must provide proof of citizenship. And there will be no mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military deployment, or travel.
So Trump's trying to, save our elections from fraud and, monkey business. And we have federal judges who are trying to throw monkey wrenches into that process. Meet U.S. District Court Judge Sparkle Suknanan, confirmed to the bench in 2025. She's a Biden appointee. And she just ruled against the SAVE system, the systematic checks of the voter rules. In her decision, she said that the federal government has knowingly trampled on the privacy rights of American citizens in a manner that threatens the sacred right to vote. This country cannot stand idly by while that happens. Here to weigh in is Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan. Congressman, when Trump talked about the SAVE Act, Save America Act, the crowd in Pennsylvania went crazy. Okay, they want this passed. But now we have these activist judges who are saying you have a constitutional right to be fraudulently on the voter rolls. What is this?
No. You understand what she ruled against, Laura. The federal government has a list of people who are in the country on some kind of visa who are not citizens. States have lists of their residents who are on the voter registration rolls. So President Trump said with his executive order last year, match up the list and find out who's on the voter registration rolls, who are participating in our elections, who should not be, because our law doesn't allow foreigners to vote in our elections. That is how common sense his executive order was. Simply let them match up lists. Now, a bunch of red states sent in their lists. Some blue states did. And what they find? Thousands of people were on the voter registration list in states that were not citizens. That's what he's trying to get at. And this judge says, no, somehow that tramples on rights. No, your decision tramples on common sense, for goodness sake. And that is so much of what's at stake here. Common sense versus the crazy decisions of the left and some of these judges.
Well, how doesn't this result in the disenfranchisement of lawful voters? You're disenfranchised. Your vote is canceled out if some fraud votes in our election. So I don't understand how she could be against that as a sitting U.S. District Court judge. By the way, Congressman, Senator Lindsey Graham questioned her at her confirmation hearing about her Trinidad and Tobago citizenship at the time. And she assured him that she needed to renounce it in order to fulfill her duties. If confirmed as a judge, she said she would renounce her other citizenship. But it doesn't appear that she has renounced her Trinidad citizenship.
I don't know.
We reached out to her office to see if she had plans to, but we didn't hear back.
Yeah, that's something worth exploring. But one of the things we've done, we passed legislation through our committee, through the House, that says when you have these left-wing judges make this decision, at a minimum, it should just apply to that jurisdiction. It shouldn't be nationwide. It should only apply to the parties in the case in that respective jurisdiction. But you get these federal judges, or 670 of them, I believe, who make a decision that applies nationwide. So that's another problem. We passed legislation in the United States Senate. Hopefully that'll be taken up when we get that to the president's desk at some point. But again, I think this is just another example of the left just going against common sense. President Trump's executive order, pure common sense. Match up the list, make sure only Americans vote in American elections.
Makes sense to me. So a federal appeals court on Saturday refused to let the Trump administration enforce key parts of President Trump's executive order on mail-in voting rules. In a 2-1 decision, they denied the Department of Justice request to pause the June ruling, blocking several provisions. The DOJ previously told the court it would seek emergency relief from the Supreme Court. The administration argued the lawsuit was premature because federal agencies had not finalized the policies needed to implement the executive order, but the appeals court found the plaintiff states were already facing looming election deadlines. So As the district court reasoned, the executive order lays out a clear set of rapidly approaching deadlines by which the states must coordinate with federal officials to comply with the new voting procedures. So the order directs DHS to compile lists of confirmed U.S. citizens eligible to vote, provide them to the states, instructs the U.S. Postal Service to establish new standards for mail-in ballots, and directs the Justice Department to prioritize investigations of the state and local officials who issue federal ballots to people deemed ineligible to vote. I wonder, can you charge state and local officials with crimes for providing ballots to people who are illegal aliens? Maybe. Maybe charge them with depriving other people the right. Because if they give one illegal alien a ballot, it deprives an American the right to vote. So the lawsuit was brought by 23 states and the District of Columbia. States argue the Constitution gives them the responsibility for administering the elections, that the president exceeded his authority by directing federal agencies to impose new voting requirements. Well, I guess you could get your own mail-in ballots some other way then, if you want to use the Postal Service. So District Judge Indira Talwani agreed in the ruling. Of course she did. So Saturday's ruling does not resolve the underlying legal challenges, but leaves Talwani's injunction in place while the appeal proceeds. The White House and the Justice Department did not immediately respond to Fox News' request for comment. So, yeah, something's got to change, man. They keep taking our rights away and giving them to illegals. Yeah, that's what they're doing. They're depriving us of our rights, yes. Conspiracy to commit both of the above. Charge them with fraud, yeah. That's what I say. So, got this story. Texas, a DPS, Department of Public Safety K-9, locates criminal illegal alien MS-13 gang member in the brush during a 5-mile trek. It's a 5-mile trek. Illegal immigration has been an epidemic in the United States thanks to the reckless Biden administration. An estimated 15 million illegals poured into the U.S. Now it's more than that, 25. The media largely downplayed or ignored the invasion. That all changed when Trump came back into office. He sealed the border with a strong CBP presence. It'll take years to remove the millions of illegal aliens within the interior of the nation. Texas DPS has done great work tracking and capturing illegal aliens. So Brian Oswaldo Bustillo Mejia from El Salvador, attempting to evade capture, was found by DPS in the brush. One K-9, one MS-13 gang member, a 5-mile trek. High estimates, 40 million. Yeah, that's what I would say. Under Biden, that's what I would say. Good night, Jonathan. Thanks for being here. Maybe 25 under Biden, but there's more than 50 million here. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I think there's 100 million here. I really do. I think they know that there's like 50 million people here on visas and stuff. There is no theory, just facts. Yeah.
When she broke in, that's where he came out. In the brush. Yeah, it's just hard to. Okay, I'm on top of it right here. Yeah. He's like, please.
Oh, look at the puppy.
That's right here. Right behind me. Yeah, right here. He just hit it. Body. Hey, body running out of field. Running. Unit, move in. Oh my God, moving through that is so hard.
Yeah, dude. Right on the edge?
Yeah, right here on the edge.
Yeah, legal alien from El Salvador, MS-13 gang member.
Like 10 or 15 rows in.
Oh, got him. So DPS is always on the lookout for illegal aliens. They rescued 39 illegals being smuggled in a tractor trailer that caught fire. Dozens of illegals recovered from a burning trailer in South Texas.
Get him out, get him out, get him out! Hey, we have bolt cutters. Is it clear or no?
Release the hound.
Get him out, get him out, get him out! Get him out! Hey, let's get some fire extinguishers! Get him out, get him out! Get out, get out, get out, get out!
A cup holder! Small cup holder!
Nom, 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 nom. Fork, 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 nom, nom. There you go. Wow. I can watch illegals getting arrested all day. Yes.
Bodies in their trailer. And confirmed bodies in the trailer. Agents are rescuing people from the back of the 18-wheeler. There's like 30 of them. You got.
This was in Tejas. Tejas. That was in Tejas. So, Article 4, Section 4 of the Constitution gives the federal government the authority and responsibility to protect the country from invasion. The states shall guarantee every state in the union a republican form of government and shall protect each of them against invasion and an application of the legislature or executive when the legislature cannot be convened against domestic violence. That's right. That's what I would say. They need to just declare an invasion. Declare an invasion already. Yes. This is the new slave trade, and it's not gringos benefiting from it. Yes. Packed in like sardines. Invite in one bean, you get the entire burrito. Suspected Iranian regime operatives caught entering the UK through the English Channel migrant routes. You don't say. These smuggling routes are important and useful for them, and useful than missiles for us. We do not need a missile to target London. It's easier than that, an official said. So they're smuggling them into target London. Suspected intelligence operatives have been intercepted attempting to enter the UK by crossing the English Channel. According to a report by the Telegraph, individuals linked to the Iranian intelligence have attempted to enter, exploit migrant smuggling routes into Britain. Iranian officials have facilitated the passage of some migrants from Calais, France, to the UK in exchange for a future favor once they're settled in Britain. Wow. Wow, that's crazy. You know, maybe somebody might want to stop it. What do you think? They came for the fish and chips. And so put some ships out there with 50 cals. Yes, people bombs. Yes, that's what's going to happen, I think. That's what's going to happen. So British authorities reportedly used drones and artificial intelligence to surveil the tower with surveillance towers to monitor vessels crossing the English Channel and identify individuals believed to have ties to Iran. Why wouldn't you stop everybody coming in? So you're only stopping the people you think have ties to Iran. You're letting everybody else come in. The UK is so retarded, they're literally paying France and Belgium to have Africa invade their country. It's insane. It really is. It is insane. It's insane. Some human trafficking routes stretching from the Middle East to the Channel are owned by Iran's IRGC, with Iranian smuggling networks transporting migrants across Europe before attempting to move them into the UK. They came for the work and jobs no one else will do. Yeah, blowing up people with bombs, yes. The Telegraph reported the revolutionary people have positioned themselves in London through these networks under the operation of Iran's Unit 700, the logistical branch of Foreign Operation Division of the IRGC. Forgot earlier, all buffs reported back stateside. Oh, man, that's not good. Yeah, suicide bombers are the cheapest version of drone. Yes. Of course, don't forget that our armed forces have influence and run smuggling routes in some cases if they want, an Iranian official said. At the moment, we have people right there in London, revolutionary people who care about the world and the lives of children, and they'll wait for us to tell them what to do. What we have not done yet, but we can easily make London unsafe for you if we want to. So they're threatening you. It's London stand now, yeah. Yeah, diversity is our strength. What can go wrong? Well, they're about to find out, unfortunately, what can go wrong really fast. Wong. Yes. These smuggling routes are more important and useful than missiles. Revelations follow Iran saying it would attack RAF Fairford after the new prime minister renewed permission for the U.S. to use British bases. Shadow Secretary Alison Kearns commented, the government needs to face facts. The IRGC is exploiting the small boat crisis to put operatives on British streets. We need an urgent task force to root out Iranian agents among those arriving and who've arrived on our shores. Why don't you stop everybody from arriving? What the fuck is going on with you? Tehran is openly threatening Britain. We have a prime minister silent on national security. Wow. Wow, that's insane. That's insane. Well, we got this story. A new book from a former Demo operative details the systemic racism against white people in the highest corners of the Democrat Party. Former Obama intern, lifelong Democrat, who left the party after what she saw as a volunteer at the DNC. In 2024, she expanded on why she became so disenfranchised with the Demon Rat Party. Tens of millions of dollars for them and why she left the party. Nothing left. Confessions of a Democrat operative. Ms. Barker chronicles with people I would generally describe as not normal. One fellow consultant hires a resistance artist to paint a mural of Rep. Ocasio-Cortez on the roof of his Washington condominium, including her associates, including white men, vilify whiteness and maleness as a kind of daily religious ritual. Yeah, Canada is jammed full of Iranian terrorists. Build that wall. Parliament's a joke. King Charles wants them to invade. Inbred psychopath is one really in charge. Most men in progressive circles participate in the bashings. They virtue signal their disdain for their own gender by saying things like, I want to elect more people who look like you and less people who look like me. People who would confide in me. I employ a lot of annoying MFers, and no wonder the establishment thinks we're insane. Right before hopping on a Zoom meeting to say her pronouns and bash white men. She doesn't exempt herself from the censure. Scanning the resumes of job applicants, she would search for candidates named on the internet and discard the ones from white men. I knew it was wrong, but I had to do it. In an interview with Real America's Voice, this is not something that was ever publicly announced, so the general public doesn't even know about this. But like George Soros' organization, for instance, they put out a pledge to only fund organizations in the Demon Rat Party that were led by people of color for 5 years, which is, I saw personally people that were turned down for jobs because the organization realized they needed to have the right identity leading their organization or they would be denied funding. Well, we tried to negotiate with Iran. They have made it clear they are not serious. The solution will be decapitating their leadership. But they got to get cracking on it. I'm going to cash in my cis male hetero privilege card to oppress a historically marginalized person. Okay, USA. And it's just like a real systemic effect. I myself was pressured at times. There's a lot of social and peer pressure to not hire white men, especially. I feel bad about this, but this book's called Confession of a Democrat Operative, so I have to confess my sins too, right? I was in a position of hiring, and when I would get resumes, the first thing I did was Google their names to see if what their race was and if they were a man. Holy fuck. And if they were, I didn't set up interviews. And this happened all throughout the Democrat Party. There was systemic push in the party to discriminate against white people. And it came down from on high in the highest levels of the party. Wow.
This is not something that was ever publicly announced, right? So the general public doesn't even know about this. But like George Soros's organization, for instance, they put out a pledge to only fund organizations in the Democratic Party that were led by people of color for 5 years, which is, I saw personally people that were turned down for jobs because, the organization realized they needed to have like the right identity leading their organization, or they could be denied funding. And it had a real systemic effect. I myself, was pressured at times. There was a lot of social and peer pressure to not hire white men, especially. I feel very bad about this, but this book is called Confessions of a Democratic Operative, so I have to confess my own sins too, right? I was in positions of hiring, and when I would get resumes, the very first thing I did is Google their names on the internet to see what their race was, to see if they were a man. And if they were, I didn't set up interviews with them. And this happened all throughout the Democratic Party. There was a systemic push in the party to...
Yeah, she's admitting that they're breaking federal law by what they're doing in federal laws. They're breaking federal laws purposely. But no, they would never cheat in the election.
To discriminate against white people. And it came down on high from the very highest levels of the party.
That is disturbing. Yes. So, very disturbing. And real quick, let's get to our next white criminal of the day. Jonathan Mercedes, white race. So another white criminal of the day. Yes, for being a white man. These white, they do discriminate against white men. They keep locking up all these white men. Very discriminatory. That's constitutionally illegal. Yes, it is. So you're saying you're a country girl. Got it. Yeah. Country girl. Maybe because the IT industry is run by commie faggots too. It's possible. It really is. What do you know? White criminal of the day. White criminal of the day. As the 25th anniversary of 9/11 looms, families and the victims don't want unwelcome guests. Mandami. They want Mandami banned. They want Mandami banned. No Mandami. No Mandami. Mandami no good. We don't want a Mandami here. We don't want a Mandami. No Mandami. It's the 25th anniversary. The Democrat Party has some explaining to do. No, that's the thing. I don't think they do because they didn't have any explaining to do about all the fraud with Act Blue and the fucking smurfing and all the money, the foreign money and shit. They just pled the fifth and smiled and smirked about it. So it's the 25th anniversary of 9/11 attacks that murdered 3,000 Americans looms. Families and some of the victims don't want Mandami to come. He wants them to stay away. Don't come. Nothing any MAGA person didn't already know. You ain't kidding. So Giovanni Galanti's 29-year-old wife, Grace Catherine, was among those murdered by al-Qaeda terrorists. Galanti's petition to bar Mandami from events has already received 1,350 signatures from at least 300 victims' families. Wow. I almost want to hear what Mandami would say, preferably a transcript. Yeah. Police have been told to stand down and let it happen, or else they would activate the same as they would for you and me. Well, that's the saying. They're not. Yeah, but the majority of inmates are black. Are they? Oh. Even the white ones. Even the white ones are black. Yes. Even the white ones are black. Mm-hmm. Even the white ones are black. That's what they say. So, for many families and communities, participation in these ceremonies, they just don't want them there. So, yeah. Mandami has blamed the United States for radicalizing Anwar al-Awlaki. They blame the United States for, he supports the blind sheikh. Given these concerns, we respectfully ask the organizers to carefully consider whether Mandami's participation would align with the intention of the ceremony. Well, I could say it won't because we have this story. The Islamic Marxist ruler of New York is hiding his hatred of infidels by attending a mosque service that concluded with instructing attendees and the killing of infidels by your sword. So this Mandami, here he is. He's at this thing, all right? And they want to kill infidels.
I was with many of you here at the procession on the martyrdom anniversary of Imam Ali.
Martyrdom anniversary. Oh.
It is a privilege to be here with you once again. I stand before you as the first Muslim mayor in our city's history. And this year as the first Jummah that I have attended in that new position. And to do so together, it is a reminder that in this month of Ramadan, as we find moments of reflection, of recommitment, moments of community, that we always do so together. And it is together that I am thankful to be here today, and I'm thankful to have the opportunity to lead our city. Assalamu alaikum.
You work not just for Muslims, you work for all of humanity and all of the the residents of New York City. So we thank you very much for this, and we pray daily for your success in this journey, inshallah. Thank you.
وأسأل الله أن يصلي على محمد وآل محمد وأن يجعلني من المنتظرين لك والتابعين والناصرين لك على أعدائك والمستشهدين بين يديك في جملة أوليائك والفرج فيه للمؤمنين على يديك وقتل الكافرين بسيفك.
Look at that. And the killing of the infidels by your sword. So this is who is the mayor of New York City. You hear that, infidels? They're talking about you. They're talking about you. They want to kill you. Yes. Well, I had to play it so you could see. Mandami was there. They're talking about slicing the necks of infidels. What's he saying? Something Durka Durka? Sorry, he had it so you could see it. They want to kill the infidels by your sword. Sorry. That's the mayor. I feel the same way about them. That's them. That's them. Twice deported Turkish illegal alien charged with sexual assault of a 6-year-old girl at a Sacramento daycare. Sacramento daycare. Wow. Wowzers. 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 Wowzers, wowzers, wowzers. Wowzers. I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. Oh, to be true, yes. Conspiracy to commit terrorism. That's what I think so. Conspiracy to commit murder. Something, I think so. Ramadan's a lie. As a kid, my last meal was at 6 p.m. and I didn't eat breakfast till 7 a.m. every day for 10 years. Yeah. Twice deported. How did he get back in the country? An illegal alien's been charged with sexually assaulting a 6-year-old girl at a daycare in Sacramento, California. Gökhan Baki of Turkey has been charged with sexual assaulting a child that took place in July 2025 when Baki was working at the daycare in question. The mother, child's victim's mother, reported the illegal alien lured the girl into a closet to play hide and seek, but sexually assaulted the girl instead. Wow. This sicko criminal illegal alien sexual assault a 6-year-old girl. Brought the girl to the bathroom and raped her. He allegedly brought her into a bathroom and raped her on the same day. A lawsuit that the mother said the conduct of Baki and sexually molesting and raping a 6-year-old child is extreme and outrageous and exceeding all bounds of decency to be tolerated in a civil society. The lawsuit brought in July 2025 led to Baki's arrest on suspicion of 4 felony charges. The suit alleges the child was bruised and suffered severe pain, fear, and emotional trauma from the attack. The child told the mother the next day that she didn't want to go to school. She asked her mother to make sure Baki did not hurt her again. What's going to be the tipping point? I don't know. I think we're there. People just got to realize it. Poor guy was just looking for a new wife. Yeah. Wood chipper, enough said. Yeah. Mozambique, baby. Mozambique. Yes. You feel like I feel. We become too cowed as a society to do what is necessary. Starting to feel that way. It really is. Baki's been removed from the U.S. twice by Border Patrol, once in November 2023 and again in September 24, around a year before he was arrested. The suit says the daycare had done a proper background check. The abuse could have been prevented. Yes. Pat says, we are there. The criminal legal alien sexually assaulted a 6-year-old. He now faces charges of lewd and lascivious acts. We're calling on Newscomb, the governor, and his fellow sanctuary politicians to commit to not releasing the sickle from jail. Baki remains in Sacramento jail on a $200,000 bail over abuse allegations. He's set to go out to a hearing on July 31st. This is just insane. It's just insane. And I have a quick video here, real quick, before we get to the next story about some EBT fraud. So this woman says, Lisa, I'm at Publix right now. You done sold me a card that don't work. Why would you do that? Video circulates showing a buyer stuck at a checkout after paying cash for an EBT card that was totally empty. Buying or selling food stamps for cash isn't just illegal, it's a major scam. How it happens. They sell SNAP benefits for a discount for cash. Scams, buyers get ripped off with drained or fake cards. These thieves clone cards or trick users out of pins. Chip EBT cards replace magnetic strips with EMV chips. App block card locks. Let the users lock the cards until checkout. Photo IDs. It's crazy. During Ramadan, Muslims are fasting for 12 hours, sunrise to sunset. And then you can ignore gorge and gluttony until sunrise. It's crazy. Yeah. So this is it. So here we go. We got a woman here complaining that she got ripped off.
Hello. Listen, I'm at Publix right now trying to pay for my damn groceries. The food stamp card ain't working. You done sold me a card that don't work. Why would you do that? That's embarrassing. I'm in line right now with all this grocery and the damn food stamp card ain't working. You knew you ain't had no food stamps on you to buy drugs. I'm gonna report you to the people for fraud. That's what I'm gonna do. Now I need my money back and I'm on my way to your house because it's embarrassing. Can y'all hold this grocery till I come back? And don't record. I know you ain't recording me, bitch. You gonna get that camera off me right now. So I gotta feed my kids. I don't like that shit, y'all. Hello.
I know you ain't recording me. Ooga booga. Cards may be tracked, search, hunt, cash removed. Yeah. She don't belong at that Publix. No. The problem is the left is like the Persians were in 79 when they shut down their country's commerce with mass protests. This allowed the RGC to take over. They thought it was a good thing. They did. His name is Baki. Yeah, he's a Baki boy. Yeah, it's crazy. What if a bunch of armed patriots marched around every courthouse with one of these commie judges and made sure ICE got all the illegals? Citizens arrest. Just asking questions. Good questions to ask. I agree. Good questions to ask. I agree. So this is some good news. This is a good story. Hawaii's Democrat Lieutenant Governor Sylvia Luke is indicted by a grand jury on criminal conspiracy. Just wait until you hear about the Jewish laws that affect the same thing as Sharia. Uh-oh. She doesn't need that food. That's right. I got to feed my kids. Alleged payment involving COVID-19 testing contract. Oh, what do you know? Sylvia Luke. A grand jury indicted Hawaii Lieutenant Governor on charges of criminal conspiracy to commit bribery, falsifying candidate committee reports. The allegations stem from an interaction with local businesses and lobbyist Toby Solodom that took place in 2022. Finally, some good news, right? Right? Finally, some good news. That's what I say. Finally, some good news. That's what I say. Finally, some good news. COVID tests were another scam. Yes, it was. Also included, so the indictment alleged Sodom offered Luke $35,000 bribe in connection to a company he recommended for the state COVID testing contract. You got to get the testing, right? If you don't get the testing, you can't get the shakedown in the money. That's how that works, right? Gotta have that. Gotta have that. Gotta have it. Gotta have it. That's what I'm thinking. So also including the indictment were Saldadom, former state representative Ryan Yamani, Ford Fukumaji, an official with Hawaii's transportation department, a Democrat political advisor, Leo Asuncion, a former official for Highways Public Utility Commission. Yeah. Make her turn evidence. Who's her boss's boss? That's right. In January 2022, with his client's contract set to expire, Sutherland went with Luke at a steakhouse and gave her two $5,000 checks made out to her campaign committee. By the next week, we'll have 35, so we'll be halfway to our 70. Sodom allegedly told Luke, promising to give her 70,000. Oh, wow, that's terrific. Luke admitted to accepting the two $5,000 checks, but denied taking more than that, and also denied any money influencing her lawmaking. I never granted special favors to a contributor. She said to oppose, adding that she prized integrity and honesty above all. These people think that this is just the way it is. We cannot get more than a handful of people to counter-protest the leftist ICE. Going to get a posse to do something that will buy a prison term? Yeah, I don't know what I'm saying. I don't see it happen. Does anyone watch Smoke and Scan? I do. I watch them. She was indicted for criminal conspiracy. He was indicted for criminal bribery, conspiracy. Luke was planning to run for re-election as Hawaii's lieutenant governor, seeking a second term. In April, she formally abandoned that bid, saying in a statement that she decided not to seek re-election after discussions with her family and close friends. So that means she got the news. Imagine Jim with a bong. No. Well, yeah, he's a good guy. Is he live right now?
And then breaking news first at 5, criminal indictments of the political corruption probe that's shaken the state capitol.
An Oahu grand jury indicted 5 people this afternoon, including Lieutenant Governor Sylvia Luke. She's been on unpaid leave since April. Now she's charged with conspiracy to commit bribery and falsifying election documents.
The 4 others indicted are Ryan Yamane, the former director of the Department of Human Services, Ford Fuchigami, the DOT Airports Administrator, Leo Ascension Jr., the former Hawaii Public Utilities Commission Chair, and lobbyist and businessman Toby Solodum. The AG's Special Investigation and Prosecution Division has been working the case since January.
From the outset of this investigation, I have repeated that we have a commitment to following the facts to where they lead, no matter how long it takes to get there. The SIPD has been working tremendously hard over the last 6 months to get us here.
At this point, I would remind the public that these are merely allegations. Our criminal system is based upon the presumption of innocence.
Sylvia Luke's bail was set at $80,000. She already turned herself in to be booked at the Sheriff's Division. The indictments dropped this afternoon after a grand jury proceeding that lasted hours.
Arlene Kawana was there and starts our team coverage from Circuit Court.
The witnesses started arriving early, even before the grand jury courtroom opened.
How you doing, Detroit?
Our cameras were there as former State Representative Ty Cullen arrived to testify with his attorney. He was inside the grand jury room for just over an hour. Cullen served a 2-year sentence in federal prison for bribery-related crimes. He became a witness for the FBI, and in 2022 was wearing a wire to record a dinner he had with then-candidate for Lieutenant Governor Sylvia Luke. Also in attendance at the dinner, Toby Solodum, a lobbyist who made millions through COVID-19 tests. Solodum's daughter, Kristen Pai, was also at the dinner. Pai was the second person to testify Friday morning. She wore dark sunglasses as she left the grand jury room with her attorney. After Pai was former Campaign Spending Commission Deputy Tony Balderramo. His testimony only took about 20 minutes. Kathy Ross, a Department of Health leader, followed. She spent about 45 minutes testifying. After that, the last person who took the most time, he was there for hours, a witness from the feds. Sources tell me he was there to assist with the details from the federal investigation. At about 2:30 this afternoon, the grand jury returns were read in court by the Deputy Attorneys General.
Ms. Luke has been indicted with criminal conspiracy to commit bribery, as well as falsifying candidate committee reports. We note that she has a high-ranking governmental position, as we all know.
Bail was set for Luke at $80,000. The defendants are all charged with bribery or conspiracy to commit bribery. There are also counts for falsifying election documents.
Wow, that's a lot of news and stuff, man. That's a lot of news and stuff. So I want to thank everybody who was here. Please remind you all, we did not hit the goal for the extra hour. So we're going to be ending the show. I'm going to send everybody over to a nice channel, Katie Did's channel. Go say hi to Katie Did on YouTube and Rumble. Thank you all for being here. Please remember, hit like. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And come back tomorrow for Jim to tell you the news.